boys were called edgy. Told they'd never make it past 5 episodes. Well, here those podcast jerks are. Back for season 2. The Boys in the Woods podcast. The show your mother warned you about and that your dad was hiding in the basement listening to. Get ready for the Boys in the Woods podcast.
Woo! Welcome back, everybody. Here we go for another round of fun. Fantastic fun with picks.
In the eclipsed sun.
Yes,
Total
folks, tell
eclipse
everybody
in
if you
your
stay out of the sun, don't stare at the sun. You might go blind. Apparently 100 people a year do.
100 Darwin. Welcome to a new segment on the show called Your Darwin Moment of the Day.
You got Darwin?
100 people go blind every time an eclipse happens. Darwin at his finest.
It's probably more, but that's the number that the guy gave on the radio.
So is it looking at it while it's happening or looking at it at its peak of
While it's happening. No, because you have 4 minutes and 27-ish seconds to look at it while it's,
So you're telling me there's 100 dumb people a year
Yeah.
look at it while it's happening?
I don't look, you two specifically. I don't know why you guys are surprised. We have seen what privates do in the barracks.
I've watched, I watched somebody clear a 50 cal with the end of a 50 cal bullet, loosen fingers.
Oh my God. I've seen
It's jammed.
we've seen people in the army literally ride floor buffers. Bro, I had a
Is
private.
that Darwinism or stupidity?
That's
Both.
stupid.
Could be
Stupid.
could be
I've
boredism.
seen a private.
Bored.
Really, we had this dude waxing the hallways, right?
Yeah.
On extra duty. He was using the buffer. I saw this motherfucker ride the buffer down the stairs and fall on his face and shatter his jaw.
Yeah.
The
Owie.
stupid shit that people do is
Yeah.
now I'm
We had
just like, all right.
We had a private go from, it was like so I was Fort Wainwright, Alaska, and it was about January. So you're talking 43 to 58 below. And so he walked from the barracks to what it was known as the zone. Most of these bases have these cool fucking movie theaters, these bowling alleys, shit like that. We had the zone, which used to be an old officer space, and they fucking put a projector in there and basically ran movies every day, and you had some card tables and shit. So this private went to the zone, and he ended up, wasn't a part of our group, one of the other weirdos, but we ended up having a death by PowerPoint because of it. And the dude walked out with just a baseball cap on and lost an ear to frostbite. And it was maybe a football field and a half, but yeah, you just got to put a hat on.
You don't mess with Alaskan winter.
Well, a lot of us, I came from the UP, so even me, when I got off the plane,
We don't
I'd
know
finally
that
got
kind of cold.
No, I finally got off the plane. I'm like, man, I'm from the UP. This shit ain't gonna be nothing. I had no jacket. I had my ACUs, and it was January. It was like 40 below, and I found the one door that didn't lock because I swear to God, if that door locked, I'd be dead. And I went out there and I gotta smoke a fucking cigarette. My new NCO is about to come. My life is gonna change. I'm about to get my ass kicked. I know it. I need to smoke a cigarette. So I go out there and I light a cigarette. I take that first hit. Everything crystallized in that moment. And I was like, this is straight hell. And I fucking threw the cigarette and I went right back inside. I think it was maybe 8 hours before I ended up having a cigarette. But yeah, that Alaska cold is, but once you're there, we would laugh because it would end up being like 10 degrees by the end of February, beginning of March. We would be shorts and T-shirts, windows down in the vehicles, cruising because it was so hot. From negative 60 to 10 degrees.
60 degree swing. Yeah, your body just thinks that it's.
But they would all be
warmer.
in 6 of their 7-layer system. And we're like, bro, it's only 10 degrees, man. It gets so much worse. You're going to be fucked if you're wearing all that.
One of my guys was a door gunner in Alaska.
Yeah.
And a crew chief, and he used to always tell me, he was like, bro, if you really want to clear your fucking lungs up, he was like, come ride in my bird in Alaska in the middle of winter. Your lungs won't have shit in them afterwards. You may not have lungs afterwards.
I got to tell you, I can't explain the smell other than it's trees. But when we left Kuwait, going to Iraq, we went from Fort Wainwright to Germany, and then Germany to Kuwait, right? And then Kuwait, we hopped into Iraq. coming back, we went straight from Kuwait to fucking Alaska, right? So we breathed all that Kuwait air and then nothing but the recycled shit air from all of us sitting in that fucking plane with the shit air. But then immediately got out of the plane in fucking Alaska. And it was like every single fucking tree at one time punched me in the face. And it was, honestly, my feeling was like Spaceballs when the dude fucking can't there. Oh my God. I'll never forget how fucking clean that air was and just how different, like.
It's a little different.
Oh my
God.
Where I had a similar experience was when we went to Iraq, we stopped in Shannon, Ireland on the way.
Yeah.
When you get into Shannon and I think it was February. No, it was April. Still cold, wet, damp, gorgeous. A shade of green you've never seen in your life.
It's so different.
The air, and you're like, there's no pollution. What the fuck is that smell? This is clean. I don't know.
You don't smell factories and smoke and smog and shit.
You literally smell dirt, and it's the cleanest smell you get.
Have you ever seen the horizon from trees? Like you're looking out and you can actually see the horizon, but so it's like looking at the ocean and it's a whole bunch of fucking water with nothing on the other side of it. There are so many places in Alaska that is a whole bunch of fucking trees with nothing on the other side of it. It goes down. It looks like rolling waves of trees. Some of the ways I would explain it would be like you're walking through Walmart and you're in the picture aisle and you're like, man, I want to fucking go there. Every dirt road you go down in Alaska, once you hit Fairbanks and above, is like walking through a fucking Walmart picture aisle. It's just breathtaking every time you look around it.
I want to go to Alaska so bad. I have a buddy who's a retired sergeant major. Sorry, I'm trying to eat dinner at the same time.
Fuck that flag, right?
So this guy's a retired sergeant major, and he wants me to go hunting with him. But when I say hunting, we're gonna be on the ground hunting moose. I'm like, I'm good. No,
man, them moose up there are so big. We're in a 3-decker bus.
You were going to try to ride one of them fuckers, Charles, when you said that you went on Alaska. And I go, what outside?
No, dude. I've had a couple moose incidences up in Alaska. The one where the mom had a baby and the mom was eating out of the bed of my truck. Like you just straight calling to work and they're like, yeah, you go in whenever you're ready. But we were headed to the range in those tour buses. In the tour buses you head to the range in, and we had stopped. And this moose on all fours, it didn't stand on its back legs, was eating and picked its head up. And me sitting on that fucking bus, it was looking me in the eye. I'm like, oh my God, these things are fucking. I think grizzly bears are really the only thing that even fuck with them, to be honest with you.
And even then, grizzly bears ain't fucking with a moose, not for real. That moose going, Jesus Christ, when those things run, it's ridiculous.
Kind of like Xavier Worthy in the NFL Combine.
Look at that segue.
Headed right to the draft. We've had a few interesting conversations in the off topic I would like to bring up. We were going to let's start with Deshaun Watson. Jordan Love's going to be getting a new contract between May 3rd and May 10th. I believe it will be signed and it will be public and all information will be known by May 10th. I believe the new something about contract, new league, May 3rd. So they've already been talking. They're just waiting to put pen to paper. So something we were talking about as a group was Deshaun Watson destroying the market and Jordan Love restructuring the quarterback market. I feel like we're going to see Jordan Love appears to be the next name in that contract conversation. So it brought us to Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns destroying the quarterback scenario, which is hilarious. How long was the contract for? 4 years?
It was 4 years for 235. And again,
and he's been hurt for 2?
Majority of 2 years now.
And it's been fully guaranteed.
Well,
I know that's the issue with the contract.
He took a restructure and saved him a little bit of money.
But it's the fully guaranteed part.
And he hasn't even played 2 years? He's got 2 years off his contract at this point.
The problem
is collecting a check.
Yeah, well, the problem is that the NFL salary cap is only going to go up. So the contracts are only going to get crazier. So who even gives a shit about the Deshaun? Because that's going to look like pennies in about 4 years.
Right. The numbers is not the issue with Deshaun. Like the amount that he got and for the length of year of the contract is not the issue.
Blame that on Cleveland, though, the guaranteed money, because that's just them being desperate.
That's definitely all on Cleveland.
And it's put a terrible ripple into the quarterback situation over these last couple of years. But here we are with the Green Bay Packers coming in like the NFL saviors that they are.
You know what? That probably had a ripple with the running backs as well.
I think it may have.
People are.
It may have rippled the entire NFL.
It did.
You know what?
I could be saying this. My foot goes in my ass when Mike Murphy comes out with a shit fuck contract.
The biggest
Are you
contract,
saying they're give him like 15?
that's big, that really makes sense to me, is and now it's starting to look even better, is the 10-year deal the Chiefs gave Patty Mahomes.
Yeah.
All those void years in the back end. Yes, it's 10 years, $450 million. He's already restructured the deal 3 times to ensure that he could take
what
team
year
friendly.
Is he on in that? Is he
I
not
think
year
he's on
3
year 3 or 4. Going on 4.
You can bet your ass that in about year 5 it's going to get restructured again.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Without a doubt.
I think it has to. I think it ends up being in the same situation like Josh Allen and Dak Prescott, when it's going to be 50, 60, 70 million against the cap.
Here's a good question. I think this is a very good question. You guys all probably are really going to like this one. Is Patrick Mahomes a lifer in Kansas City?
Yes. Is Kansas City a lifer in Kansas City? I think that's the biggest issue, right?
Mike already brought this up, and I brought it up before that Kansas City's having a little bit of problems with the old.
And don't think this wouldn't be like the St. Louis Rams all over again, because the Battlehawks just showed the world that 40,000 people showed up for spring football. So you don't think 60 to 80 wouldn't show up for an NFL team?
They're gonna cross cities. They're gonna cross the state.
What is it? What is it, Mike? Mike, you looked at it. Is it they're about 100 million in the hole?
Who the UFL?
Kansas City. Yeah, the Kansas City. They're about 100 million in the hole. Kansas City, the city.
Well, and the city and the owner are far.
Oh yeah, there's no negotiation right now.
Oh no, the city of Kansas City voted it down. It's not happening.
They don't want to put nothing towards.
Yeah, they're not going to put any money.
And so what? Kansas City is Heinz, right?
It used to be. Yeah.
Is it? No. Who owns the Chiefs?
The Hunt family.
It's Hunt's. Okay. Oh shit, Heinz. Charles, I started a war here.
I think the Heinz own
the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah.
Heinz kicked the shit out of French's, by the way. Just throwing that out there. All right. Not enough people talk about Hunt's, though. I think Hunt's is an undervalued ketchup.
I didn't think that was the sentence I would ever hear on this.
It doesn't matter how much you try to sugarcoat
that wasn't on my bingo card.
I'm serious. I think Hunt's is an undervalued ketchup. It goes well. It's not too sweet. It's not too spicy.
I wasn't prepared for that. But I don't see if Kansas City, the city can't come to an agreement with the team owners of the Chiefs. What is the likelihood of them moving to another city that
St. Louis?
So if you cross the
St. Louis
to
Chiefs,
the other side of the state.
Are you kidding me? Hell yeah. Because I think that ended up being the conversation we had, and I think that's the most it was a conversation I was listening to, and it is the most frustrating part. Because if Kansas City won't, I'm St. Louis, I will, and if I'm an owner, why wouldn't I?
And this is the thing. It's not like if you're St. Louis as a city and you already have the dome. Fix it up however you need to fix it up. You're not just bringing a rink-a-dink football team to St. Louis. You're bringing Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. So I think the city would one third fund the build of a new stadium. You're not going to Kakaw's law in St. Louis. You're not going to take that dome away from the Battlehawks, but you can build a new stadium, and that's what the owner's looking for. Hey, I'm going to put 2/3 in. I'm looking for 1/3. I've given you a football team. I don't like it at all. I fucking hate it. But if I'm a billionaire owner, I get it.
I'm pushing for it.
Yeah, and if I don't have to spend, do you know how I became a millionaire? By not spending my own effing money. So if I can not spend my own money, well over here, I'm going to. This is that 30 million in the bank. If you lose, do you care thing all over.
You bring Patty to St. Louis. It's like Cleveland bringing back LeBron James. You're literally putting money into the city.
Well, this is the other thing too. Is St. Louis ain't the only city that would contend for that.
Right.
San Antonio, when the Raiders were moving, San Antonio made a ginormous bid to get the Raiders to come back here.
And you think the owner isn't going to enjoy a tax-free incentive?
Yeah,
the
exactly.
Only
3
thing,
football teams in Texas?
Yeah,
It's
but
big
the only
enough.
thing St. Louis
It's one of
has
the only
going
states
against
it takes
it
you a
is
couple
that
days.
So how do you reach?
Wouldn't
Then you
lose a
got
lot
to do
of
the whole
fans.
divisions and stuff
It's not
like
that far of a travel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you and exactly
I mean-
like Patrick just said. It's not going to be that far of a travel. What are you going to lose? Less than
You're not going to
2%.
lose your interstate fans. They're going to still travel to those games.
And what
Just
is
better
what
not
is
You
that?
change
still
the
got
name.
people that travel from Oakland to Vegas to watch games
yeah.
for the Raiders. So I'm
Absolutely.
like, going from Kansas City, Missouri to St. Louis, Missouri, they're not going to lose sleep over.
I would
But if you
assume
move them
Kansas City
outside
at this
the
point
state-
probably has a top 10 NFL fan base or top 5 probably now.
At least.
Well,
Mahomes.
I mean, with Taylor Swift, it's the
Yeah,
one.
It's not number one. It's
With
you're not gonna beat
Taylor
Dallas.
Swift numbers. I'm saying, listen, from an NFL fan standpoint, I get it. Probably not. But with Taylor Swift numbers, they sell the most jerseys.
Well, they said
sell the
they
most
actually
tickets.
did not swing that many people over to football as they thought they would. Ticket sales, yes, but not fans wise. But
Regardless, the numbers at the end of the year were Kansas City had the most jersey sales. Kansas City had the most ticket sales. Kansas City had the most.
of course, you're gonna have the most jersey sales. They went to the fucking Super Bowl. They kept on selling them all the way through the whole season.
You got a whole goddamn dynasty.
That's usually the team.
So how far fetched is it that they're not number one? Who's number one? The Cowboys? That's
Probably.
oil money talking. Get out of here.
Wow.
No, look, top 3 jersey sales:
Yeah.
Micah Parsons, Patty Mahomes, Jalen Hurts.
Whoa, where's Travis
Michael
Kelce?
Parsons?
Micah Parsons was the #1 selling jersey for the NFL for all of 2023.
Well, if you think about it, Dallas probably pushed him big time.
Well, if Dallas keeps pushing him the way he's pushing, and next year he's going to be. in
How
the
many
league.
Micah
right out the
Parsons
door.
jerseys do you think are in third world countries? I think oil money's just buying it and sending it off and donating it. Those are that's bullshit numbers. I don't see that many Micah
You're
Parsons
just
jerseys.
upset.
But we're not. Tell us, how many jerseys have you seen lately?
I've not seen one fucking Micah Parsons jersey.
Well,
not
yeah,
my entire
well,
life.
Wisconsin,
You
if
don't
see
live
a
in
Mike
Texas.
Parsons jersey
Them
here.
motherfuckers are everywhere.
All right, so I got the top
See,
10.
there you go.
I got the top 10. Number 10 was Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I can see it. All
Number-
right, yeah.
Number 9, Justin Jefferson. Number 8, Lamar Jackson. 7 is Tyreek Hill. 6, Christian McCaffrey. 5, Whack Prescott. 4, TJ Watt. 3, Jalen Hurts. 2, Patty Mahomes. And 1, Michael Parsons.
So Travis Kelce's jersey sales went up 432%. He didn't even make the top 10. Were 12 people buying his jersey before Taylor fucking Swift? Is that what I'm fucking hearing right now?
I think only Kansas City fans were really fucking with
Probably.
Travis Kelce like that before Taylor Swift. But
Shit goes up 432%. You don't make the top 10?
well, you gotta
Well, he
realize
was probably
too.
never in the top 20 to begin with.
Fuck, he
You
wasn't
gotta
in the
realize,
top
too,
300.
He's the tight end is never
That
gonna
jersey's got to
tight
be
end-
cheap.
Tight ends are never gonna be your big jersey sellers. It's always gonna
Shannon
be-
Sharp. I mean, Shannon
No, don't say that because I think when Brady and Gronk were there, Gronkowski.
Gronkowski.
I
Yeah.
can see,
And
okay,
and hold on, Atlanta Falcon, big
Tony
dude.
Gonzalez.
Tony Gonzalez.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
he
Gonzalez,
had
yeah.
jersey sales out
And
the
probably
ass.
when he was in the Chiefs, he was probably selling them hoes
Who do
too.
you think sold more jerseys this past season? Travis or Jason?
Jason.
Jason.
I'm gonna go with Jason.
Yeah.
Ah, fuck, Travis went up 432%. He's still outside the top 300. It's got to be
'Cause
Jason.
I bet you
Shut
during the
fuck
Super
up.
Bowl, Jason scored more too because he was
Shut
freaking doing
up.
all that crazy shit.
You sound stupid.
I'm
But
just
you're
trying to.
absolutely correct.
The math ain't mathin' here, man.
Make
The
it make
math-
sense.
The math ain't mathin'. How the fuck you go up 432%? You're not even in
Well,
the
let's
top 10.
just look it up. Let's just look it up. How many jerseys
Fucking-
did he even sell? How many do you? All right, how many do you? Guys
Over
believe?
under, I think he sold 2356.
Okay, hold on. We're looking at Travis.
And I think 400 was returned.
All right, the latest numbers as of
Oh, you're a dickhead. You're just trying to get clicks at this point, and I'm here for all the shit. You're trying to piss off all the goddamn Swifties.
that's all right. It's all right.
He'll be an album soon enough. It's
Listen, and it's probably going to be a,
can't find any
a
actual
top
sales.
gonna be a
#1
banger,
song.
bro.
Listen, it's always the depressing albums that just hit different.
Listen, every Hollywood show has ever shown you when the singer who sings about broken hearts falls in love, the music isn't the same.
All I can see is that, like you said, his jersey sales went up over 400%, but I can't see an actual number.
Obviously,
It wasn't
With-
good
with-
enough.
saying without saying, I'm right. Top 300.
Bro, yeah.
He went from 30 jerseys sold
to 2,356. He went from.
That's it.
Hey, man.
As long as you cut me my check.
How the hell are you in that many fucking commercials and you're not even a top jersey seller?
Well,
'Cause I don't know.
Well, I know that the one line of commercials was because he's probably the only motherfucker to say yes.
Let's just be there's certain commercials that probably aren't going to sell you jerseys more than they're going to sell votes.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah, that's what I said. He was probably the only one to say yes to that one.
Yeah.
But still, there was like 6 other ones. Wasn't he on some DirecTV?
Yeah, it was in beer commercials, other stuff. Yeah.
That's what I mean. How the fuck? What marketing guy went, hey, let's get that guy so we could get some of these Swifties to drink Michelob Ultra?
I just don't think.
No, that was messy. My bad.
Messy for that.
Yeah, it was my bad.
Maybe personality-wise, he's just not that likable of a person. I don't know.
We all know who doesn't like Travis Kelce.
Jason? Oh, yeah.
That guy.
This guy. Wait, this guy.
That guy up here does not like Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Other way, Mike.
Yeah. Snapchat. Ready?
Not a
Snapchat.
fan. I like his brother. I don't like him.
I think
I liked him before I liked him before the whole Taylor Swift thing, and then all of a sudden it just went.
You have to, if you watch his podcast, I think you'll change your mind. The dude is he's really articulate. He's funny. He's a good dude. I think he gets a bad rap because he comes off sometimes as Gronk light, and it looks a little fake. But if you have both Shannon Sharp and Tony Gonzalez have come out and said that he's in their top 2 of tight ends of all time, none of the jersey sales don't matter. Nobody else's opinions matter. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, tight end, period, point blank.
I guess my thing with Travis Kelce is that watching Rob Gronkowski was...
What the fuck are you doing, Charles?
Watch it. The sun never sets in the land of the... Listen, I finally found a pair of sunglasses that lets me... Dude, the lights and the headache. This is what I'm saying, all right?
Let him have his moment over here.
Listen, watching Rob Gronkowski was way different than watching Travis Kelce. Rob Gronkowski, Travis Kelce. So how the hell are you putting Travis Kelce in your top 2? He's top 5 at best.
I don't know. The only tight end podcast I'm going to watch is The Shea. And The Shea podcast, that podcast is fucking awesome.
I'm talking Tony Gonzalez, Rob Gronkowski, Shannon Sharp, and I don't want to be rude because I didn't think I was going to come to the table with my all-time great tight ends off the bat. But right off the bat, those are the 3 I'm taking before Travis Kelce.
Well, Shannon Sharp did not have a consistent great career.
No.
He had 4 good seasons.
Travis Kelce's number 1 in receptions and receiving yards. He's third in receiving and
all
third
time?
in third in receiving touchdowns, trailing Antonio Gates and Rob Gronkowski. That's it. So
maybe he just does it quietly.
He has.
It's
been slow. It hasn't been.
You also have somebody like Patty Mahomes throwing to you.
That's the kicker.
But but he's still performing, so you can't take away from him.
But Gronkowski had Brady.
These are how the people that are non-fans disassociate themselves from great players, is they allow themselves to feel like, hey, because this superstar was throwing this guy the ball, I don't think he's that great. And we did this with Brady and Gronkowski. We're doing it with Kelce and freaking Patrick Mahomes right now.
I think, because even with Antonio Gates and Tony Gonzalez, and you can even throw Shannon Sharp.
Antonio Gates, who
was throwing Gates the football?
Phillip Rivers.
Exactly. Which we already forgot about him.
I'm like, you can't forget about him. We know you forgot about him. I'm like, do you take Antonio Gates away from the top 5 because who was throwing at him?
No, absolutely not.
No.
So how can you do the same thing with Kelce?
I'm saying the reason why people do. I'm not saying I do it.
And then even with Shannon Sharp, yes, he might not have had the most flashiest career, but he also had John Elway throwing at him.
It wasn't just
and Brett Favre.
You had that Trent Dilfer douchebag over there.
That was Sterling Sharp. You're thinking of his brother.
John Elway and Trent Dilfer in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Trent Dilfer.
I feel like I belong in the weekend at Bernie's right now.
Shannon Sharp didn't play with Steve McNair.
No.
They were
I think
Two
he was
different
already.
eras?
I think he was gone before.
He had another.
Do we put Aaron
quarterback there
Hernandez on the
where-
list?
Yes,
the top 5
let's put
murderer?
the murderer.
Yes.
Yeah, he's not on any other list other than that one.
Well, he's on the Florida list. That
Yeah,
Florida
but
guy.
But Tim Tebow's on the Florida list, so that get out of here.
Meh.
Does Tim Tebow's foundation nullify the Aaron Hernandez effect in the Florida University?
No.
No.
No. All right. Just checking.
Tim Tebow is okay. He is God's child.
I liked him. Yeah, I think he's a good dude.
Yeah.
All righty. On to our next topic here. The Jets. Are they go for broke or just broke? Let's talk.
I'm like, they're getting hit with a lot of money with just one player.
Well,
Very much so.
this feels like
This is do or die.
it feels like this is the season. They're like, all right, Aaron Rodgers is 40 plus. He played 14 seconds for us and snapped his Achilles. We have to win now.
Yeah.
And that's why
Why
I don't
you
think
laughing?
I don't think that's why we
Not laughing because
haven't seen a big extension for Hassan Reddick. We haven't seen big extensions for some of these other pieces that they bought to plug and play, is because they want this 1-year rental. Let's see what we can get, because realistically, if Rodgers gets hurt again, he's done.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
got
I believe the
Oh, you
average
say
age
sellout
for their
season.
offensive. I believe the average age for their offensive line is going to be 30.
Yes,
30.
53-man roster.
Sorry.
They've got 53 years old.
50 years old. I'm thinking they're about 30. I think they're going to be 28 to 30 years old on that average age.
That whole
And
team.
I
Except
believe
for the
that
wide receivers, I think.
injuries are going to be a really
Running
big
back.
issue here.
yeah.
Let's be realistic. Medicine today is fantastic, but come on. Everybody
only
they
do
brought
so
in on
much.
the free agency was hurt last season. And
Yeah.
I think 4 games in, they're-
And you've only really, besides Hassan, you've only really picked up injury-riddled players this offseason.
Mike
too.
Williams, Tyron Smith.
Well, Mike, that's the
soon
problem. They made their defense
David
better, but they
Bakhtiari.
only did mediocre things to the offense.
And their defense wasn't terrible last year.
No,
No,
their
I
defense
think-
was great.
I think
So
what they're
if
gonna
Aaron
do-
Rodgers stays healthy, how many games do you have?
I think
Ooh.
if Aaron Rodgers stay healthy, if the offensive line stays healthy,
And Mike
and
Williams
Nathaniel
stays
Hackett
healthy.
isn't calling the offensive plays, I believe, 11 to 13, I think is comfortable.
Yeah, I could see that. But I could see 11 to 13. I just don't see them winning their division.
Who does then?
Okay, so we did this with the AFC. We did this with what? The AFC North there. Let's give the same respect
Probably
to the
Miami.
AFC East. Let's give the same respect. Everything works out on a fucking platter. It's perfect. It's diamond pristine. Aaron Rodgers is healthy. The offensive line is healthy. Mike Williams is healthy. The defense plays like it did last year. Nathaniel Hackett doesn't call any plays. Who wins that division?
Regardless of how well you say that they just played, they're still only the 4th best team in the AFC if they do that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Just drop the. To me personally,
I'm just saying, the best they can play, they're still only going to be the 4th best team in the AFC.
You think the Patriots are going to be better than the Jets?
No, in the AFC.
No, in the AFC, the conference, not the
Yeah, I'm
AFC.
sorry. I thought I had said AFC East.
No,
So
I'm
I agree.
just
I
saying
agree.
that
Yeah, I agree with you that they're maybe the 4th best team.
Who
I
can
think-
beat them? I don't. To
I
be
think-
honest,
I
probably
think
nobody.
I think
Miami's gonna
Miami
give 'em a
wins the
run.
division.
I think
Yeah.
Miami's the only full, complete team from top to bottom. to
Well,
compete.
we'll see with their
Even
Miami,
with a
Miami
perfect.
took some losses too.
Yeah,
Miami took some big
gave
losses.
their
Yeah.
defensive coordinator
I'm just
away.
saying.
So
Yeah,
I hear you.
Nick Fangio, where are you going, buddy?
yeah.
I still
That's all
think
right.
though,
He's in a much
Wait.
better place.
Yeah.
He's in a much better place.
with a more confident quarterback.
Yeah,
Oh,
I agree.
Yeah.
And a defensive line that is known to be stout. And this is the difference between I think that we're going to see with Vic Fangio and Philly versus Miami. People in Philly are used to being coached hard. All of our coaches coach hard as fuck. Jeff Stoutland coaches hard. Nick Sirianni coaches hard. All of them coach hard. Whereas in Miami, Mike McDaniels is not a hard coach. Mike McDaniels is I want to be your friend kind of coach. At least that's the way it comes off. So Vic Fangio coaches hard. That's why some of his players didn't like him in Miami, because he coaches hard. When you're fucking up, he's going to let you know you're fucking up. But Vic Fangio has also gotten great defenses out of guys who don't like him. Miami's defense last year was okay. It wasn't great, but it sure wasn't bottom of the barrel like Phillies turned out to be.
Miami and Dallas had the same issue. They couldn't play away from home. That was what killed.
I still think Miami.
That's Miami's Achilles heel. Always has been.
I think Miami still takes it a bit.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to come down maybe to the last 2 weeks of the season.
Do the wide receivers make a great quarterback great?
Absolutely.
Or does a great quarterback make good wide receivers great?
There's only two of them that have ever done that.
2 things can be true.
So what's going on in Buffalo? Is Josh Allen going to be shit without Stephon Diggs? Or
we're going to find out.
Because Josh Allen on everyone's book is number 2, more or less.
And then you can't forget, too, not only Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis.
I'm talking about... Okay, let me rephrase that. On anyone that everyone sees on TV, Josh Allen is the number 2. For most other analysts and others that watch, it varies throughout. But still, but my point is that if Josh Allen is in that light, does it matter that he lost Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs?
I told you, he lost 2,200 fucking yards in offense and 15 touchdowns. I don't give a shit if you're Joe Montana, freaking Tom Brady, or friggin'
you need at least one receiver.
You lose that much production, you are not going to replace it with 1 or 2 okay players.
Well, the most recent, the most recent to give people to paint a picture would be when Aaron Rodgers lost Devontae Adams. When Aaron Rodgers lost Jordy Nelson, he had Devontae Adams. But when Aaron Rodgers lost Devontae Adams,
he didn't have shit.
He did. Aaron Rodgers just didn't trust anybody. Obviously, Jordan Love has now showed Aaron Rodgers he was fucking wrong. But
they do have two. They have 2 pretty good in Knox and I don't know what's the other guy's name. Is it Knox?
Watson? Ain't it Watson?
Who do they have? Two decent tight ends, a rookie from last year, and Caden Knox. But outside of those 2, there's no veteran presence in that wide receiver room.
No, they're going to end up signing.
They're going to get somebody, but
maybe.
But does Josh Allen? Go ahead.
They're going to do what Philly did last year and grab like a Julio Jones or an inexpensive veteran that isn't going to be your number 1 guy, but has enough experience that, like, Julio caught 4 touchdowns for Philly. It's not a big deal, but when the touchdowns that he caught mattered because they were in the red zone. And the early part of the season, Philly struggled in the red zone. We added Julio, and then that became our strength. The problem with Josh Allen is I think I really do the dude is talented, but he wants to play hero ball all the time. Like everything is this highlight specific. Let's go make everybody love Josh Allen. Fantastic. You know what Josh Allen is to me right now with no weapons? He's an overhyped Trevor Lawrence.
I can't get.
You want to know? You want to know what I think he is? You want to know what I think he is? You all are gonna laugh. He's Trevor Lawrence's arm, Tim Tebow's running ability.
Yeah,
that is Josh.
I'll take that, to be honest.
I mean, I personally look at Josh Allen as a top 3 quarterback, depending on where
with
you are.
With those like 20 interceptions that he's throwing every fucking season. Come on now.
I think
he's Brett Favre-esque.
Josh Allen is the true definition of a game changer when he's right. The problem, though, is he's not as right as often as he is wrong.
Buffalo did a lot better when Stephon Diggs was being a terrible football player.
Yeah. I think Josh Allen has it.
The last 7 games of the season, Stephon Diggs was.
Can I tell you something that's going to piss you off, and it's going to piss off Paul even more than anybody?
What?
He's got Jay Cutler stats right now. Josh Allen has Jay Cutler stats right now, and you guys are all talking about him like he's fucking.
I guess he ain't gonna be shit then.
I'm just saying that they're very comparable. Someone brought this up, and I laughed so hard,
that's funny.
and I was like, "There's no way." And then I looked at it, and I'm like, "He does," because Cutler would throw and when he was in Denver, not when he was in Chicago, because when he was in Chicago, but that was later in his career anyway. When he was in Denver, he was really good, really fucking good. Cutler was really good.
Oh, that's funny. Didn't Jay Cutler get like caught smoking a cigarette on the field?
No,
like,
that was
warm-ups or some
photoshopped.
shit? Oh,
It was photoshopped.
But it looked real.
From what I'm hearing,
he's going to be that. I'm just saying it's funny that he's comparable to him right now.
I haven't even thought about Jay Cutler in years.
I love the cutlet. I love that he he's funny. He's a funny dude.
Such a prick. Like,
he's funny though.
He's such a prick about it, but I like Jake. I don't like Jay Cutler, but I understand Jay Cutler because at some point he's just, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna be me. Y'all are either gonna like me or you're not. Go fuck yourself. And that's
I
how
hate
he
Kirk
treated the
Cousins,
media.
but that's how Kirk Cousins he acts too. He's pretty funny.
Well, Kirk Cousins at this point, Kirk Cousins, look,
He's just he's a baller. He's just making money.
Kirk Cousins, this is what's got to be going through his head.
Thief.
Yes, I'm stealing everybody's money. Come stop me. Come stop me.
This whole religious saved man, nah.
Yeah.
You're a fucking heathen stealing from the good people.
He's got like 350 million over his career or some shit like that. The dude's balling out of control.
He's not Robin Hood though. He's taking that money to the bank.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's no results
And
on that
still
money
dressing
given.
like a soccer dad.
That's because his wife dresses him. And Charles has said this many times. Now that they're in Atlanta, she's really gonna dress him like a weirdo.
I swear to God, if I see a grill on this motherfucker,
He's already
or
had one.
no, I'm
yeah.
talking about that's how he permanently comes.
Oh,
to
you mean
game.
he comes out with the grill and he's like he's got it in his mouth when he's out there
Yeah.
playing? Oh God, I hope not. That'll ruin it for me.
What about Kirk Cousins leads you to believe he's going to turn into Malibu's most wanted?
I don't know. He looks like
You
him.
like that?
He likes Jamie Kennedy a little bit. Does he not
King
like
Kong
Jamie Kennedy?
ain't got nothing on me.
Have you been to Atlanta? Have you been to like the black?
Yeah,
market in
I've been
Atlanta?
to the airport a few times. Like,
Atlanta?
yeah.
The airport.
Yeah, well, fuck, man.
No,
The airport's a city in its own right.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, it
I
was pretty
hate
fun when we went
fucking
there.
airport. Look, Kirk Cousins, the dude. I don't think that he's gonna turn into like fucking Tekashi 6ix9ine overnight. But
The purple braid.
oh my god, yes, the black
The braided
and then
hair,
one red cornrow just back. Oh my god, that'd be
Rainbow
fucking
hair.
amazing. Rainbow hair. But I think we're gonna see a side of Kirk because you can't go down to Atlanta and not get some kind of swag. You just can't. Like, it's impossible.
I think the most we're going to see with Kirk Cousins is he's going to have one extra button undone when he goes to the fucking podium.
Taco meat out.
I think that's about the best you're going to get from fucking church boy Kirk Cousins,
He's not
man.
gonna do this. He's not gonna put the hand in there like this
No,
and talk to you like that.
and
with the
there's
hair just
and
hanging
my,
out.
my comment,
Fuck
church
around.
boy, there's absolutely nothing wrong
He's
with
gonna
it.
fuck
Fire
around.
boy.
He's gonna fuck
Yeah,
around
I'm
and let
telling
Kyle
you.
Pitts. Kyle Pitts gonna take his ass to Magic City one good time, and we're gonna see a
Fuck
whole
around and
different
find
Kirk
out he's
Cousins.
in fuck
Did
around
you
and
hear
find
about their
out.
jersey number situation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how fucked up that is?
The NFL said he had to buy
Right.
every single. Why would
Every
you do
sing-
that? That doesn't make
the
sense to
sales.
me. Oh, cause is the Pitts jersey selling that well,
I wouldn't say that it's selling, but it's like,
or is it
It
the
makes
biggest one
sense.
in Atlanta?
and so it
Yeah.
makes sense that
Something about not pissing off the fans is why they do that.
I get that. Like, you don't randomly want like switches.
Change
but
jersey numbers constantly all the time. Yeah.
Diggs paid old boy from Houston. Clearly, that cornerback is not as big of a name, but he paid him $100K to get the number 1 jersey.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Good deal. Good
Well,
for you. I mean,
anyway,
it helps the
about
younger
that shit.
guys out.
That's
I heard
that's
about
side
that
quest.
I heard more about that. I thought in the NBA versus the NFL, like paying for jersey numbers and shit. I thought that was an NBA thing, but
No, but Pitts didn't give him it. Pitts, I don't want any money.
Pitts
Yes,
was,
no,
was willing to give it to him, but they
just-
just said, "Oh, you got to buy all these jerseys if y'all want to switch."
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it was, it was a
Honestly,
team option.
here's the kicker. Me as a fan, I'm keeping the number
old
8
one.
Pitts.
yeah,
And I'm
Change
getting
it
the
to
other
Pitts.
number Pitts, and then I'm going to get a fucking Kirk Cousins number 8 and put it
Like-
right fucking next to it.
Like you can still sell those Pitts jerseys.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to buy. Collectors are going to buy him even more because it's the only time Pitts will have that fucking number.
I still want to find
Crazy
a
dumb.
Jalen. I still want to find a Jalen Hurts number 2 jersey.
Those things are probably gone.
Well,
Oh,
that
yeah,
side
you can
quest
find it.
took us from Cutler to Kirk to Pitts to Jalen, but we got to get back one more time to Josh Allen. The most interesting part about the Josh Allen conversation is the fact that no matter what room you go in, it's divided.
Yeah.
There are people with here's the question, right? More often than not, to the group, my football opinion is sound, just as Mike's is to me, or Paul's is to you, Pat's is to you, and I'm a Josh Allen guy. Well, now on the opposite side of this, just as Patrick's football opinion is valuable to me, he swears up and down that Josh Allen is a terrible quarterback. You're also hearing this from the same guy who put CeeDee Lamb at 7 or 9, regardless of the number one. Take that with the salt you want it to. Honestly, I think, and then I want to get Paul's on this too, because we heard Patrick and Mike, and then we'll move on. But I truly do believe that Josh Allen has the ability to make the wide receivers who can catch the ball as Stephon Diggs. I think we're going to see it. You can't, the dude's got an arm, he could throw it, and...
In my humble and fugly opinion, because I'm fugly and I'm humble, I agree with Charles.
Yeah, so
Josh Allen is the top 3 quarterback in my mind.
So we're 50-50.
I'm like, and like both sides of the coin are accurate as far as the arguments. Like you can't fault Patrick. Like it's a legit stance to stand on when it comes to Josh Allen. But on the other side, he still produces.
Yeah. And he's a special teams play away from beating Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes.
This is going to be the year that shows us what kind of elite quarterback Josh Allen can be with the offensive weapons that he has. This is going to put him to the test more than just depending on somebody like Diggs, Gabe Davis, Kincaid, Knox, having that spread of weapons. Now we don't know the ability of your current receiving room right now. We don't know what they're capable of. But we know what Josh Allen is capable of. Now we just got to see if what we know of Josh Allen can it translate to being that guy when you don't have another that guy to throw to.
Yeah. And the fear is there because you don't have the comfort blanket of Diggs or Gabe. So maybe you do see a little more hero. And when you see that hero ball Mike brought up, you end up with the interceptions that Patrick brought up. And then those two combined shut people like Paul and I up because there's nothing more we could say. There's nothing more we can say.
You want to
because
until that day comes. Until that day
comes. Yeah.
When Knox broke his finger, he's never been the same. He's never been the same tight end since he broke his thumb.
My biggest thing is the results. And he continues to be one special teams play away from beating Patrick Mahomes.
So
you can't blame the guy for that.
I kind of balance between
the Packers. You can't say the same thing.
I kind of balance between Patrick and you guys.
It's also the NFL. Anybody can beat anybody.
Yeah, I balance out where I feel about Josh Allen between you guys because I don't think
that's fine.
I think he's top 5.
I said 5.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is
I'm fine with him being 5. I just don't think he's 2.
No, I don't think he's 2 either. But I think the problem is, like you were saying, Chucky, it's results based now. If you're getting to the NFC or AFC championship game, it's fantastic. Can you move beyond it? Because you know who already did? Joe Burrow.
Right.
Patrick Mahomes. You have these quarterbacks that are going to stay on the top tier of AFC quarterbacks. Now, Josh Allen, I think, is the 4th best quarterback in the AFC. If he can beat Burrow or Mahomes or even Lamar in the AFC title game, it instantly, for me, changes my opinion.
You said 4. Mahomes, Burrows,
Josh Allen, or Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow.
You say Lamar is better than Josh Allen?
Yeah.
How many times has Lamar won NBA?
A damn minute.
Regular season. Lamar might be better than regular season Josh, but there's no.
You're telling me in the playoffs you're going to trust Lamar Jackson?
Well, one of those teams was in an AFC championship this year. The other one wasn't.
Let's think about this too, okay? So
the Buffalo Bills was a kicker away from being in that AFC championship. That's not Josh Allen.
I don't want to hear a coulda, woulda, shoulda on this show.
No, the AFC championship is a team game. It's a team thing. We got to. Sometimes we get the team and the individual combined. We can't do that.
Let me justify my answer, okay?
You two motherfuckers, you two in the fucking corners are smoking crack at the same time.
No, it's just really good weed. Anyways, look, let me justify my answer, okay?
Yeah.
Josh Allen has the athletic ability. We've seen him make throws. We've seen him. But take Lamar away from the Ravens are a bottom 5 team in the league, period, point blank. You take Josh Allen away and you put a serviceable quarterback in there with 2 good receivers, they'll be middle of the road at least. Josh Allen is not as important to his team as Lamar is to his team.
Wait, the Ravens still make the playoffs even when Lamar gets hurt.
How much Buffalo gave away in the offseason? They gave away $100 million worth of talent.
Hold on. I have a question.
You shake your head with it.
No, not you. I'm not shaking my head at you, Patrick. The dude just sat here and said if you take Josh Allen away from Buffalo, they're fucking fine.
Apparently, Paul thinks that the Bills are going to win the Super Bowl. Charles thinks that they might. And me and Mike are over here. They might make the playoffs. That's what I'm getting from this.
Give me a second.
I don't know what fucking book is.
Michael Farrell. My best friend. You're telling me that you're taking 2 quarterbacks out of these teams, right? We're taking them out of the current equation with the current situation, right? And you're putting in mediocre, same level quarterbacks in their place. You're telling me that the Buffalo head coach is better at coaching a mediocre team than a Super Bowl winning head coach than Harbaugh.
When's the last time Harbaugh went to the Super Bowl?
That's irrelevant.
Wait, no, it's not. When is the last? How long has it been?
It was like 2017,
2018. Yeah.
So 2018 from 2024 is 6 years, right? You think a 6-year-old Super Bowl? You think that 6-year-old this is I'm so flustered I don't know how to talk. Look, let me break it down to you like this. The Harbaugh boys are in the position they are because they are fantastic coaches. Both of them. Amazing coaches, right? So I'm not taking away from Harbaugh. And I don't know Sean McDermott like that. I don't pay attention to Buffalo games like that. I'm saying, for me, based on who matters more to their team, take Lamar away, take Josh Allen away. Put what's that backup quarterback that was with the Giants last year? Tyrod Taylor. On either one of those teams, Buffalo makes it further than Baltimore does if they draft a weapon.
So you're telling me
Lamar
is a better, more big impact player than Josh Allen is. Period.
I was just gonna put him just below Lamar, but you can put him there. I think I actually had Lamar above him in my top 5, but I didn't have him like at 12. I had him just below him, but
if all you care about is regular season wins, then it's hard to disagree with you.
Well, Josh,
I'm about playoffs.
Hasn't won anything either.
Bro, this is the first year Lamar Jackson hasn't been hurt, and the Ravens still make the playoffs. They just lose when Lamar Jackson comes back.
You're talking about
he's only had 2 opportunities.
Josh Allen has playoff success.
Yeah, he doesn't either.
He doesn't either.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
if you want to talk comparison,
yeah,
they're both
there's no comparison.
They're both regular season Supermen. The biggest difference is Lamar is more valuable to his team and doesn't play hero ball, whereas Josh Allen
has a 5-4 playoff record.
Josh Allen will sacrifice a team game.
Jackson has what, a 2-3? And he just won 2 of those games.
You can't count those games. He didn't even play in the fucking game. Why are you counting his record? Games he started in the playoffs.
Well,
I think he's 3-3. I think he's 3-3. Yes, I think he's 3-3.
1-3.
He's not 1-3. They fucking won 2 games this year. How can he be 1-3 when they won 2 playoff games this year?
So he's 3-4.
They won 1. They had a first-round bye. They only won the divisional round and lost in the conference championship.
Yeah, so he won his first playoff game this year. He's lost 3. He's 1-3. Lamar Jackson is a terrible playoff quarterback. Bottom line.
That's fine, but so is Josh Allen.
5-4. And he runs into Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship game every other year. Terrible.
Has he been to the Super Bowl?
Terrible quarterback. So, good teams make it to the Super Bowl. We're talking about an individual player.
I understand what you're talking about.
Guys, I'm gonna put my foot where my mouth is. I bet you the fucking Bills don't make the playoffs this year.
I'm not going against that bet.
I wouldn't either.
Because I'll tell you why. $80 million they lost with players. They don't have their offense. They've got Crooks or whatever the hell his name is, the running back. That guy's mediocre.
Yeah, because didn't they lose their running back to the Giants? Singletary or whatever?
Yeah,
sure
Singletary did.
Look, I think
Singletary played for Houston.
If the bottom line for me is this. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league, period, point blank. Undisputed right now, right? Joe Burrow, to me, is the second best quarterback in the league. To me. Then Lamar, then Josh Allen. That's how I feel. I don't think that Josh Allen is super far back from the rest of these guys, but Josh Allen damn sure ain't number 2. He's not.
I mean, 5-4 in AFC Championship games, losing to Patrick Mahomes. Pretty terrible quarterback.
No, I'm not
Josh
saying he's a
Allen
terrible
is
quarterback.
comparable to Brett Favre. He was great, but when he was bad, he would throw 4 interceptions in a game. If a guy does this his whole career, that's what he is. He is not going to be someone different. You want this guy to be somebody he's not. He is not going to be that guy who's going to throw 40 touchdowns and 3 picks. He's going to throw 40 and 14 or 40 and 15. That's average.
So Mike has him at 5. You have him around 4. I have him at 3. Paul has him at 3.
I'm saying he's a great quarterback, but he's not going to be any better than what he has been in his career.
So top 5 quarterback can't win a Super Bowl.
Not with the team that he has right now. No.
Do you think
the way the Buffalo Bills are constructed right now?
No.
I wouldn't.
Obviously, some magic needs to happen. A rookie needs to do something great, and they maybe need to pick something up.
He's only getting fucking older. He's been in the league for 4 or 5 years. You guys act like he's super young. He's been around for a minute.
It's on the second contract.
We're talking apples to apples,
At
right?
the end of his second contract.
I think the
He's
thing
been in
is,
the league 6 years, hasn't he?
yeah, didn't he already got a giant contract
in like
Buffalo?
2019?
He's in his current Supermax deal right now.
Yeah, he's in his Supermax. So yeah.
Yeah, he just signed it. He just got extended from his rookie deal.
I'm saying they need to make a lot of moves, and the way that their salary cap is set up, it's not. They just had to.
They're not going to get all-star.
They're not in a position to freaking put him in a Super Bowl anytime soon. So why you guys are even talking about fucking Josh Allen makes no fucking sense to me, because they don't have any money to put Josh Allen in a Super Bowl.
That's the problem. You're gonna have to
fucking owe so much money. It's not even funny.
Every pick of this draft is gonna have to hit. Every single one is gonna have to hit, because they're not gonna get free agents.
Where did the conversation turn to? We put the Bills in the Super Bowl.
I'm barely putting him in the playoffs.
You keep saying that he's gonna fucking win a Super Bowl.
When did we say he's gonna win the Super Bowl?
That never came out of my mouth.
We were saying he's a top 3 quarterback, and that if the fucking Jets are broken, you guys are picking Miami, and I'm picking Buffalo to win the division, and that put Josh Allen in the fucking Super Bowl?
Yes, when you said, why can't a top 5 quarterback win a Super Bowl?
I asked, can a top 5 quarterback win a Super Bowl?
And I answered, not.
Josh Allen it's like a 6 to 8 year clock. You don't think the Bills can't win a Super Bowl in 6 to 8 years?
No. They couldn't win one in how many years? Ever?
I think. Look,
that was cold. That was cold.
if they're gonna win one within the next 6 to 8 years, it's gonna be after 2025. 2024 is lost to them. They have nothing. There's no.
I'm still trying to figure out where it switched to me and Paul have the Bills in the Super Bowl.
I'm not.
You're
saying
talking
that you guys
like you're putting him in the Super Bowl.
No, I'm barely putting.
I'm asking where you grabbed that from the conversation.
No, I think
because you said why can't a top 5 quarterback? And I said no. Josh Allen can't win a Super Bowl, and you said you're talking like he should be winning a Super Bowl.
Then why do you have him? Why do you have him at 4 and you have him at 5? If you don't think a top 5 quarterback can win a Super Bowl, why is he in there? That's my question.
Charles, there's been many top 5 quarterbacks that have never won a Super Bowl. So that fucking question doesn't even make sense, because Dan Marino, all these guys fucking never could win fucking Super Bowls. So,
but Dan Marino is never talked about. If I asked you top 5 quarterbacks right now, not a single fucking person would say Dan Marino.
Oh, for God, yes, they would.
I don't think I would. I don't think I would. Look,
that's my point.
I don't think Josh Allen is going to a Super Bowl this year.
When he played, was he a top 5 quarterback? Definitely.
You don't know the good guys. You don't know the good guys. You got to know the guys from the 80s, the 70s. How come nobody brings up fucking Terry Bradshaw? Terry Bradshaw was fucking amazing.
Because Terry Bradshaw was amazing for his time.
No, he was fucking amazing. Period. The dude ran around fucking bald-headed, fucking 50 years old, throwing fucking touchdown dimes to people in the end zone. Nobody does that shit nowadays.
But he couldn't do what he did back then. Now that's the difference. He's not He's not like. This is what
50.
kills me.
That whole conversation it's weird to say.
That's
like,
why.
Of course you can't. course, Terry Bradshaw's not going to win 4 Super Bowls if he played in this era.
I understand, but this is what I'm saying. Like,
this is the Michael Jordan effect with football.
Tom Brady could have played in the past, right, and still been a winning quarterback. Now he's a little bit. Listen, hold on.
Not without the tuck rule.
Look, Terry Bradshaw was not nearly athletic enough to play in today's league. When Terry Bradshaw played, he was a freak of nature. He was out there doing things, and he also had one of the best defenses in the league.
Who do you think more athletic, Terry Bradshaw or Jared Goff?
Terry Bradshaw. Now
Jared Goff's doing just fine.
Yeah, look.
But you're saying that Bradshaw couldn't do what he did back then. Now,
yeah.
Neither could Steve Young, Joe Montana.
I agree.
Yeah, they're all the same era.
Like,
Bart Starr,
too far behind each
those
other.
people. Of course they couldn't, because again, the league is different now. The only argument I have against you saying that they can't play back then and do the exact same thing now, one, they're a lot more QB friendly now, and they would have destroyed people.
Every decade, it seems like there's a turnover with what it is, what the NFL is. If it's a running league, a passing league, a defensive league.
We just broke out of the defensive era of football, and it's going huge into offense.
Because what do you think the last defensive era was? It really the Legion of Boom? Probably was the end of it.
Yeah, it was around Seattle and Denver had a Seattle, then Denver, Carolina,
and then Carolina, and then we saw
Carolina with Luke Kuechly at linebacker. Jesus, you talk about insanely disgusting. I hated. We played Carolina one time, and Kuechly hit fucking Carson Wentz so freaking hard. I thought he shit on himself because we were in the all-white uniforms. I was like,
well, I mean, we can't forget about the Ravens too. Basically, from 2000 to 2020, it was more or less
straight defense was killing.
We'll say 20 years. Then there's a 20-year turnover, 2 decades.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and you're right. The Ravens.
Because before the Ravens and maybe a Tampa Bay team with Warren Sapp, but your mind's going to go.
Raiders at one point.
That Raiders. What is that?
Yeah, but your mind's going to shoot to the 85 Bears. After the 2000 Ravens, you're going to shoot to the 85 Bears.
I already shot to the 85 Bears the second you went like this, because all I can think of right now with you wearing them fucking sunglasses is who? Come on, Paul. Who are we thinking about with the sunglasses and Charles
Super Bowl
doing
shuffle?
Super Bowl shuffle.
And Jim McMahon or whatever his name is. Oh, Jesus.
Listen, I hate how amazing my eyes feel behind these. I'm sorry.
You look delusional as hell.
We should wear them every show. I think. Can you see the screen pretty good too?
I can see everything perfectly, dude. It's
wear them
terrible.
Every show.
I'm going to from here on out. And shout out Bergstrom for hooking me up.
You just gonna do this?
Yeah, if you can see it, I don't know.
There you go.
I think Mike went to go get his shades.
Yeah.
In all 100% serious, Josh Allen's top 5 quarterback. There's no reason Josh Allen can't win a Super Bowl in his career. Just the salary cap thing is what really bothers me the most. They have no money. They just.
I agree with you. It's going to be hard, and I also agree with you, Mike. It's going to be hard for the Buffalo Bills to build a team around Josh Allen in the next 2 years, even. There was a small confusion because I was leading into a question with that Super Bowl statement, and I believe that's where everyone left.
Yeah.
And that question was, can a top 5 quarterback win a Super Bowl? So Josh Allen. And now to add to that for your argument, though, Patrick, which for our listeners we have to do from time to time, is that Dan Marino, when he was playing, people arguably said he was the best fucking quarterback in the game, and he never ended up winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
he went to 1, right?
He did go to 1,
but he lost.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Is Lamar Jackson the top 5 quarterback? Can Lamar Jackson win a Super Bowl? I just want to give you the payback for me because I said it to you.
You're not going to. What I got to say though, I don't have Lamar Jackson as a top 5 quarterback.
Exactly. I'm not going to like it, but I appreciate it.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Are you asking me regular season or start to finish? Because if you're asking me regular season, Lamar Jackson's number 1.
If we can play fantasy rules all day long, and I appreciate that too. That's what I do. That's how I feel about it. He's a fantasy football quarterback.
He's the guy. He's the best regular season quarterback I've ever seen in my life.
No, Pat Manning.
I buy his jersey all day long. Put it on the fantasy.
Okay. So
Peyton Manning has the regular season.
Yeah. I forget because he managed to win one, but two. Later on. Absolutely.
So
2 teams on top of that.
Josh Allen has a chance.
something we forget, and I heard a whole bunch when it was coming with Caitlin Clark and is she the greatest college, blah, 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 blah. Everyone's, oh, you need a championship. But if you're talking about the individuals win awards. Teams win championships. South Carolina was the much better team, and it showed. Iowa had the best player on the court. We may run into that tonight with Purdue and UConn. But Zach Edey is the best player on the court, but UConn is the much better team. And analytically, 6.5, yada, yada, yada. But I think that's at the same time, that's where we run into situations also. Is Lamar Jackson a great fucking quarterback?
Yes.
Indubitably. One of the most electric players you can ever watch in person. I guarantee it, and I haven't seen it yet. But is he the best quarterback in the NFL? Hell no, because quarterbacks in the NFL win Super Bowls.
You want to know a really good comparison?
Yes.
Let's do the 82 North Carolina Tar Heels with Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Outside of Michael Jordan, that team, nobody probably could name the other 4 starters on that offense.
Yeah, you don't count.
You don't count. You don't count. Get out of here.
You're not the average fan.
The reason you can't. No, I agree with you. But the problem is nobody knew those players played with Jordan because after they went to the NBA, they went to other teams, is what I'm saying. But that was, even though Michael Jordan was the head of that team,
there was other Hall of Famers on that team.
There was Hall of Famers on that team. But that's now.
Yep.
But when
it's still, even then, it took Jordan hitting an unbelievable shot to beat Patrick Ewing's Georgetown there. It was,
But I'm just saying,
and that was a fucking team. That Georgetown team was a team.
Right, and you said that about Caitlin Clark.
So I see what you're saying. I do. And I do. To put her on the pedestal, I believe she needed to hit that shot. But when we're talking in the conversation of, for me personally, the greatest women's college basketball player I've ever seen, it's hard for me to say no.
You guys saw the stat line, right? The separation from her and everybody else.
Yeah.
It was disgusting.
Didn't she score like 18 points in the first quarter, like the most points in the national title and a women's national title game ever?
Yeah, but what helped them?
And then she got really unselfish and started turning the ball over because she's trying to get it to her teammates who couldn't make a fucking layup. Otherwise, the game would have been a lot closer.
I just want to say this respectfully. Caitlin Clark has she got put on the pedestal for women's basketball, and she's held on to that title of the greatest women's basketball player that's actively playing right now. Like she is her, and her is.
She took a lot of people that were way taller than her at 6 foot to the hole.
However, you're not. This is my opinion.
Yeah.
How y'all want to dissect it? It's on you. Caitlin Clark is going to go down as one of the GOATs. One. Yeah. I don't think she's the GOAT because I think there's better resumes out there. Breonna Stewart.
Maya Moore.
Deanna Taurasi.
Didn't Brittany Griner win one too?
Brittany Griner. However you want to feel about it. In Baylor, Brittany Griner was her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that she's top 5, but I'm like, Diana Taurasi, you got Sue Bird, Breonna Stewart. There's been players that I feel like had better overall careers in. Breonna Stewart had 4 national titles.
Yeah.
But she did. You're talking about teams that played on teams that were coming off national championships, 5-star recruits. She was a 3-star recruit.
Yeah, but
who was stopping Breonna Stewart?
Who was
stopping? She was a 3-time National Player of the Year and a 4-time
Final Four
MVP.
Fault her for,
she was the biggest person in the freaking college, though. How do you stop her?
But you're going to tell me you're going to take Caitlin Clark over Breonna Stewart.
One-on-one, I bet you she beats her. Yeah, in her prime.
Individual. Well, the good thing is we're about to be able to see those matchups here coming up in the WNBA. The WNBA draft is next week, and the expected number 1 pick to the Indiana Fever.
I'll give you one, Paul. If she comes out in her rookie season and she averages 30 points a game, is she not the greatest? She goes right from college to Nobody's done that. Nobody's done that.
But you know who had a better rookie year out of anybody? Candace Parker, MVP and Rookie of the Year in the same year.
Yeah, where is she now, though?
A 3-time WNBA champion, future Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
All
Candace
right,
Parker
let's
is.
while we're on
Yeah,
women's
but
basketball.
WNBA's only been around for 12 years. You're talking about history. Come on, man.
While
Caitlin Clark is going to have a 12, 15-year WNBA career.
So
let's hold the brakes on whether or not who's the
winning
best.
MVP? She scores 30. Let's say her stats is 30 for the year, 8 assists and 6 rebounds. Is that?
Oh, she's going to average a double.
That's WNBA MVP.
That's MVP for the WNBA. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's definitely Rookie of the Year. But
And you think she's going to do that on this current Indiana Fever team? Get those stats, not make the playoffs again, and still get MVP? Show me a loser that's been named MVP.
I don't disagree with you there. Your team has to make the playoffs or be above 500.
Here's the problem. The
minimum be above
WNBA has a
500.
parity in the WNBA is terrible.
Although, yeah, I agree with you, Patrick. 100.
It's not fair to the good players. It's not their problem, like Mike said. But Paul, I get where your frustration's coming from because these women don't have a chance. If they get put on these teams, they're terrible. What are they going to do? You're going to go. You can score 45 points a game. The team's going to lose 25 straight games.
I think it was 18.7 million people watched that female the women's NCAA championship game.
While we're talking women's college basketball, I have to give Dawn Staley her flowers.
Her too,
bro.
Yeah.
One of the greatest coach players ever do it.
Greatest coaches in any sport. I don't give a shit. Like Dawn Staley has taken this program and has gotten better every single
What is
year.
it? 3 titles in 4 years?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Listen, come on. That's insane.
I love what I've seen. I give her all the respect in the world, but I'm telling you right now, it's way too early on this timeline to be talking about Staley like Pat Summitt.
Except for that thing was.
I'm just throwing this out there.
Building in South Carolina.
Yes.
It's nothing to sleep on.
Indubitably.
I do not.
I'm not putting her up there with Pat Summitt just yet. She has a long ways to go.
Well, I'm just saying the way I'm hearing, not necessarily you two.
Seasons. One game in the last 2 seasons.
She's great.
Is it Pat Summitt the winningest college in the women's?
Gino just passed.
Gino Ariama.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
but
and Gino's still there, so
yeah. As long as Gino's there, nobody's catching him. Nobody's catching him until he leaves.
This is Dawn Staley. I'm gonna give her the flowers not only for being a coach, but for being the type of person that she is.
100.
When you are so, I don't know if you guys saw her post-game speech where she shouts out Iowa. And she shouts out Caitlin Clark saying, "Look,
she's a people person for sure, 100%. I love her.
Such
love her.
a good
Everything she does is gold.
Mike, Paul, there's a reason why that award is named after. There's a reason why.
And then the thing, her first time coaching the Olympics women's team, gold medal.
Yeah.
She's a coach through and through for the players.
Now, do you think if there's an opportunity, a WNBA, say really shitty WNBA team fires their coach, do you think she ever takes that leap?
It can't be a shitty team. It can't be a shitty team.
No, I think you're talking like the LA Sparks or
it has to be
Phoenix.
Somebody that's already a contender that has the potential to win a title. For her to go to a sorry team, to leave what she has, to put any kind of stain on her culture, I don't think
so. You're talking like Vegas, LA, or Phoenix.
I was
probably those three teams.
If Becky Hammond gets called back up and gets a coaching job
that would be the job I could see her taking presented itself.
That would be fantastic.
Because then she goes back to coaching.
What about the men's Kentucky basketball team?
So I heard. Now this is just
I haven't watched one men's basketball game.
Arkansas, man. You're gonna go to Hicksville, Hillbillyville,
he was
USA.
Tired, I think he pulled a Nick Saban. He was tired of a failed expectation.
He's got to go face. He's got to go face his former team twice a year now. How
but
stupid is that?
This is the thing. Kentucky's not scary though. Nobody's scary.
But you're gonna make more money coaching Kentucky than you do coaching UConn.
Oh, absolutely. He's definitely taking a pay cut in Arkansas.
So my hidden goat here. Are you ready for this? Rick Pitino.
Goes back.
Rick Pitino.
Oh no, he's never been at Kentucky. He was at Louisville.
Yeah, I know. Louisville in the very beginning took Rick from Kentucky. Yes,
he was at Kentucky for like a few years.
Yeah, and then Louisville took him. Yeah, and this is the perfect opportunity for Kentucky to come back and go, "Hey, Louisville, look who we got."
I don't know. He's frowned upon as far as a coach
if
goes.
Jay Wright stays retired and Nate Oates doesn't leave Alabama, which I don't understand why Nate Woats wouldn't leave Alabama.
Why wouldn't he leave
I just
Alabama?
found out Alabama's basketball stadium was built in 1960. Kentucky's got a $40 million 3-year-old fucking facility, all right?
Yeah, they don't.
That's because
they don't
Alabama's money goes to football. That's it.
Yeah. Alabama's not a
I
football.
think
Yeah,
the
Alabama's
biggest
not a
issue that
basketball
will
school.
always be an issue for me, and I'm pretty sure we can all agree on this. The big problem with NCAA is this one and done move. I think it's causing more of a nobody wants to watch it because it's like the way that they do. I'm just coming here for a year so I can get some movies. Just let them go to the G League or let them go pro.
Right.
Stop holding these kids.
Well, here's the thing: how come the women still have the rule, but the men don't?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
that rule,
I'm here to-
made
I'm here to
women's
rain.
basketball way
I know
popular.
it's an. I know it's.
I'm here to rain a little bit on y'all's parade. I'm going to play a little bit of trivia with you.
You can't go backwards. That's the problem.
In tonight's NCAA finals, how many starters are freshmen?
How many start? None.
Overall in both teams,
Both teams.
None. Zero.
probably 2.
Zero. In the Final Four, how many starters were freshmen?
Zero.
0.
1.
Yeah, but he was only. Yeah, but he was only a starter because the starter got hurt.
The answer was 1.
I know.
So-
But there's
So
a weird.
my
thing
point
it.
with this is that the winning formula for today's NCAA with the NIL
Charles,
is
if you
it's not
build
5 stars,
they will
because
come.
here's the next trivia. How many 5-star recruits are playing in tonight's game? 0. How many 5-star recruits are playing in tonight's game?
I'm pretty sure
Not a one.
UConn. I'm pretty sure UConn's got
0.
one.
There's
0.
no 5-star recruits.
No
I'm
5-star
sorry.
recruits.
UConn's got one.
In the
Nope.
title game.
In the title game. How many 5-star recruits played in the Final Four?
Probably
3.
2 or 3.
0.
Telling you, them 5-stars don't mean
You can back.
shit no
You
more.
get those numbers up all you want. I'll die on them.
I
They
don't-
are
I'm
the
not
truth.
surprised.
The problem is that 47, and there's 4 different places you get your stars from, and each one of those, if they're a high 4, they're a 5 on another
Well,
one.
to
So
the-
it's
the
all
big school.
subjective. It's all
Yeah,
subjective.
that's the problem with the star rating system.
Yeah, the
is
star
it
rating
is subjective
because all 4 of those are actually every
Because-
team goes off a different one.
I believe it was high 3 and low 4-star recruits in tonight's game.
That makes sense to me. I don't think
Even
The
having
winning
good
formula
4-stars
has been
is
written by Dan Hurley. I'm going to tell you it right now. The winning formula has been written by Dan Hurley. You go out there, you get yourself 1 freshman, you have 2 or 3 people that you've been building in your system, and then you hit that fucking transfer portal and you go, who are the 5 best players in the country right now? I want them on my team. And then you go and get them.
who's that white chick from LSU that just went into the transfer portal.
Haley
good.
Van Lith.
Haley
Van
Van
Lith.
Lith.
Yeah, she's gonna get
yeah.
picked up really quick. Like
Absolutely.
really quick.
And this all comes down to the point of bringing this up, too, arguably, was shame on Iowa. Caitlin Clark came back, and Iowa didn't do a damn thing in that
They
transfer
ended
portal.
it the same way that they ended last year. They lost
And-
the national championship game.
Absolutely.
And
And
now they're going to be even more fucked. 'cause That was
Absolutely.
their bread and butter, and she's gone now.
Shame
Okay,
on
now what
Iowa.
are you gonna do?
Shame on the collective. Shame on their NIL inability
You
to go
literally
in that
had 2
transfer
years
portal.
to figure something out.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't win the first year because you thought, that, hey, we got a
Right.
good team. So you see what you didn't have, and you basically lost to the same team twice with LSU and South Carolina. You had no big bodies to hold their big guys. Or their
Absolutely.
big girls. I apologize, no disrespect.
Yeah.
And I'm with you, Charles. You had all the summer after March Madness to figure out who's going in the transfer portal, who should we bring in to get us over that top hump. And
Because
you
Kate-
didn't do nothing.
Because Caitlin Clark did everything right. She, in an individual sense, won the awards. Iowa did not build the team around her. She had great players with her and lots of
You
love
didn't
and
build
lots
a
of heart.
team.
But the team was never the best team on the court.
Where
What's
did,
up?
where did you get those stats from? Because that Stephon Castle was the number 7 recruit in the country. He was a 5-star recruit for UConn.
You bamboozled
He was
them.
unanimous 5-star. Stephon Castle for
Let me go
UConn.
dig
He's
that
like
out.
one of the best point guards.
Well,
in
hold
the
on now. Hold on
draft.
now. Hold on now. Maybe I may have switched up the freshman starters with the 5-star recruits. But let me dig into this. You guys continue talking. Thank you, Patrick.
So let me ask you guys this: the coach for
Because you
LSU,
can't come at me with that. But also earlier tell me that all lists are objective.
Kim,
Because I might
whatever
find a
happened-
list where he was a high
You're
4-star.
you are not going to find a list where he's not a 5-star.
We'll find.
He was a top 10 recruit. Yeah, it's fucking wild.
Again, though, how many players are on the basketball court? We're talking 100 players between the Final Four and now, and we found one.
Well, but I'm just talking about he was a 5-star from last year. I didn't even look up the other ones. I just said I know they have to have one. I didn't look up any other player. I just found one. I think he's a freshman. And he's a freshman. So double wrong.
So this double doink on you.
Double doink.
Damn. I know what that feels like.
Yeah, you do.
More than once.
Yeah, you do. Right at the hands of Philadelphia.
And I'm pretty sure the other guy's a freshman too, Solomon Ball. So that's two freshmen for UConn. Yeah, it's fucking nuts.
This LSU women's coach, what the fuck is her deal?
Who's that?
Kim Mulkey or whatever her name is.
Why she yells at players is what bothers me the most.
Apparently, it's not just yelling. Like she will call her. Apparently, she's been heard calling players fat bitches on the court, telling them to lose weight. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Wow.
Bro,
hella wow.
It's that old mentality where people think coaches sit 18 levels above their players, and the shit just ain't like that anymore, man.
Well, here's the thing. If Charles and I always say this is 100% speculation, because if there's audio or video of this, she's fired, and she would have been fired yesterday.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. Yeah.
So we have players that accuse coaches of doing this kind of behavior all the time, but there's never any proof or any evidence. Right. It wouldn't be that difficult to pull your cell phone out when the coach is going off.
I agree. The other thing that have you watched any of her interviews? Like
she's terrible.
She's terrible. She's this little gremlin who has these rage and anger issues.
Dude, her outfits drive me wild. Like the shit she wears on the sideline.
Annoyed the shit out of me.
She's like purple sparkles and like
put on some regular suits, damn it.
Dude, when they won last year, I couldn't stand watching her. She looked like a clown out there for LSU. It was nuts.
Hold on, guys.
But either way, it doesn't really matter.
No.
Well, it mattered enough for you to look it up live in the show, so now I got to keep digging into it.
Well, I knew that Castle was a freshman because I watched the Final Four game. Okay. That's why it bothered me, because I was like, I'm pretty sure that guy's like the best player, and he's pretty good. And I was like, I swear he was a freshman, because I remember him getting recruited by Ohio State and Duke and all that shit, and he decided to go to UConn. But either way, like you said, that he is a freaking incredible recruiter and a freaking coach. Like they have. Don't
listen to anything I said. You just debunked everything I said.
Well, we got to get down to the truth every now and then. It's fine. You can just freaking retract it.
1 5-star recruit and 100 players. It's a deep truth.
Let me ask y'all a question while Charles continues this black hole dive that he's in. Let's talk about Bronny James. The decision to enter the draft, but yet not hire an agent, which I think that's a smart move, because if you don't get the feelers like you want, you can take your name out. But there's speculation that he's going to go sign with his dad's friends, transfer to DeCoy's University. They are in the Division I, so they're A10 conference. But how do you go from? I'm not saying USC was this powerhouse basketball team, but the difference between the schools is this so he can look better on a sorrier school? Is that the plan? If he doesn't stay in the draft?
Charles and I have a hard time, and I think you're going to agree with us. I want to hear what you have to say. I'm sorry, Mike.
No, go ahead.
Well, I think honestly, he's feeling the pressure, and to be LeBron's kid has to be terrible. Charles has actually said this to people before. Why did he go there to begin with? He wanted the heat on himself he wanted to be in the spotlight. Let's be honest. Right. And he thought he could hack it, and guess what? He found out he couldn't. So that Hollywood,
yeah. That Hollywood heat is crazy.
I feel bad for
so he's going over there to just get out of the light?
I hope so.
It could be that, or I really do think, like, in LA, there's a couple of people who have really big shadows. Magic, Kobe, LeBron have ginormous.
Even Shaq's is still there.
Yeah, Shaq too, right? Like, you've got these guys with these big shadows. And I don't think Bronny really realized how big his dad's footprint and shadow in the city of LA was until you started playing where your dad plays, and you're like, "Oh fuck!"
Well, my dad.
And you got everybody named Mama coming to y'all's games.
Paul,
not just LeBron.
Look at Jordan's kids. Perfect
Terrible.
example. Prime example.
Terrible.
Scottie Pippen's son.
Terrible.
Yeah,
He's in the league
he's in the league. I think he's the only one, isn't he?
at the moment.
At the
Because
moment,
both Jordan's kids quit after
You know what's
a few
funny?
years after they
Glenn
got out of college.
Robinson.
Look
Oh yeah, Glenn Robinson. This kid is still around.
Look at whose kids are doing the best in the league.
Well, hold on though.
There's Kenyon Martin.
We are forgetting a really big one. Solomon Ball was a 4-star recruit. We are getting a really big one.
What?
Yeah, but he's a
That's
freshman.
Curry and Dale Curry.
Curry.
That's what I was saying. Look
Yeah,
whose kids
yeah.
are doing
2 times.
great.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah,
his
both
kids
of
are
his
doing
kids are pretty
fantastic.
decent.
It's
Yeah.
not Michael Jordan. It's not Scottie Pippen. It's not these big superstar players. It's
But
players
there's a
who
different
are-
work ethic for these players that weren't the person on
Yes.
their team.
The only
But-
exception I think to that is if Kobe's other daughters, rest in peace, Gigi. If Kobe's
Yeah.
other daughters get into basketball, I think they will be the most successful, high profile because their dad's mentality
Yeah.
was nuts.
I think the story.
Max
I
Key,
think
Sharif.
I think Gigi was the only one.
Well,
She
the
was
oldest two are too small
Yeah.
right now.
yeah, the other
The
two are
youngest two are
small.
really small.
Okay.
The
That's what it
oldest
was.
one-
That's what it was.
The
Yeah,
oldest one, she's I think 19 or 20, so she's not even
Yeah,
Yeah.
she didn't care.
thinking about that shit. But his
No,
two
she's
youngest
into like
girls,
she's into like makeup and like being a
fashion
being a
design
teenager.
The one
Yeah.
thing I hope that this entire Caitlin Clark thing does is continue to grow the women's game the way Kobe
Look how much we just
had
talked
the
about.
projected path. Well, and I agree. The text messages I received from my father-in-law from people who don't even watch basketball. Hey, you watching this Iowa game? Yeah,
I'm
can't believe
hoping
you are.
that the Caitlin Clark situation, and I'm just gonna throw this. And I'm not comparing it, so let's just get that
Right.
clear. I'm not saying
Well,
that
there's
he-
no comparison, and until
No, I'm
she's in the
saying-
WNBA, there's
No, I'm not saying comparing
comparison.
to anybody. I'm
Yes,
saying
there's a lot of
Caitlin
time
Clark
left.
and Angel Reese could be to the NBA, to the WNBA, how Magic and Bird were when the league was about to die.
But
And
there's
they-
five. There's five really good basketball
So-
players coming in.
I think this
It'll be
year might
fun.
be one of the greatest years to show these rookies and how much. I know it's going to be a while,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying this could be the start to the point where the WNBA might finally try to. Again, we said this. Yes, they're being stronghold by the NBA right now. I get
Right.
that. But if
But
they
market your superstars. Market your superstars. Do
But if
the
they
right
move
thing.
away from the WNBA and actually start building something with what's coming out this year and moving forward, because for the next 2-3 years, there's a lot of potential that's going to be coming into the WNBA from these last 2 March Madness seasons.
Mhm.
But they got to get away from the NBA at some point and just bet on themselves. Because I swear, if they can get away from that and find their own structure, the WNBA can succeed for a long time.
They just honestly hire a very good marketing firm, figure this shit out. There's a way to do it. They sell freaking African turds to freaking people on Etsy,
Yeah, that's
so you can figure something out.
If
They sell
the-
people's
if-
dirty underwear and stuff. So
If they can figure
There's a
out
market.
how to keep women's college basketball as hype as it was these last couple of years,
yeah, absolutely.
it's going to be nothing but greatness for the WNBA. I think here's the issue is they have to start incentivizing their players to really want to play in strictly the WNBA because look at the offer Caitlin Clark got from Ice Cube in the Big Three.
$5 million.
$5 million to
And the-
play
hey,
10 games.
The thing is, they said that she can play in that, and Ice Cube did it
And
so she could
still
play
be
in it, and then
yeah.
go back to the WNBA. Why would you not? I would watch the shit out of that freaking.
Oh my God, Caitlin Clark in the Big Three. Look,
yeah,
let's be honest.
throwing
Caitlin
freaking
Clark
dimes.
is, yes, she's gonna be
And all them
dishing. And,
4-point shots that she's going to be hitting.
she's gonna be dishing and hitting from the perimeter, right? Like she's not going in the paint on
You're
dudes.
gonna have to
That's
put a
not
six.
happening.
You're gonna have to put a 6-pointer in there for her, but just to like half court because she'll fire it from
Yeah.
40 feet.
But I think, man, I'm as a girl dad, and it just is what it is. It's really dope to see where women's sports is at right now.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
really
to have
dope.
an extra thing to hype women up, absolutely, 100%.
Dude, this is I honestly my daughter's not into sports. Like I tried to get her into pro wrestling and stuff. I try to get her to watch football and she's just not into it. But even still, it's just cool as a girl dad to see there are avenues opening up for our daughters to go if that's where they choose, right? Like a really cool time in sports altogether. Altogether.
Well, talking about that, let's go ahead and get right into it. Let's round it off. I'll start us off. We're gonna give a mock 10. We're gonna give a mock top 10. We're gonna hit the draft. We're gonna segue right from the NCAA right into the draft. And man, I had a lot of trouble with this. Mostly because I can see a world of trades happening, but I don't understand them.
Well, okay. Would you rather just do it this way? Do your top 10. Your top 10. The top 10 you think that each team should take. It's so much easier. You just look at the board.
Mike, you got something to say? We can't hear you.
I thought we were doing the top 5.
Yeah, but Charles was talking about trades. What do trades have anything to do with freaking players being picked?
I thought
just
we were.
Pick,
yeah, I thought. Yeah. What do you mean? Like
you're talking about how trades are going to happen. What do they have to do with the top 5?
Wide receivers.
Oh, well, I pulled a Patrick here, and I went the complete opposite. I created my fucking mock draft, my top 10 mock draft.
We still have the top 10. That's part of it. We did top 5 quarterbacks, wide receivers, and running backs in the NFL draft.
Well, we'll save on time then, and I'll mediate. We'll bounce back and forth to Patrick, Paul, and Mike.
And then I was gonna say you wanted me and PR to talk about WrestleMania for a little bit, right?
I mean, we could also just continue on these topics, jump around a little bit, and hit the draft next week. It's up to the gang.
We can do that. We can do that.
The draft next week would be perfect.
We could do the draft next week.
Because apparently Charles has his top 10, but he's pissed off because he must think there's going to be a lot of trades. I think there's going to be trades in the top 7. Top 7.
Yeah, looking at it, like going through the mocks and everything, dude. I could see Jaden Daniels going to 13 to the Raiders. I could see, but I could also see. But here's the thing:
I get going to New England.
Here's the kicker. For Jaden Daniels to drop to 13, right? Like the Patriots don't like him, so they don't take number 3. But where I threw an entire chink in my chain, bro, is if Jaden Daniels drops to 10, do the Jets pick up Jaden fucking Daniels?
No. I don't think there's not enough upside for it. Not that high of. I don't think Jaden Daniels gets past either the Redskins or the Commanders or the Pats. I think he goes top 3.
We know that the Commanders love their running quarterback, so they're probably going to take Jaden Daniels. Yeah. And Charles is going to laugh, and he's going to go, well, his career is going to end up exactly how I fucking
here's
thought it
the kicker. I'm thinking exactly. I'm not thinking about it realistically. I'm thinking about it how you would hope the other people would think about players, right? Like, you're not going to do good here in Washington. Are you a great quarterback? Yeah, but we're going to break you. So I'm going to pick somebody that I'm not going to break, right? Yeah. That's probably not going to happen.
We would think this, but the fans
if Washington takes Jaden Daniels, the Patriots take Drake May. And now the number 3 is not being traded out anymore. And now you're looking at the fucking Chargers at 5.
I heard Wolf loves JJ McCarthy. He wants him. That's
Wolf.
the GM for the Patriots.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
You're bringing some scuttlebutt to the table.
Goddamn. Yeah. It's so weird to hear you say GM for the Patriots. For 20 years, nobody has ever been able to say that. It's so such a weird title.
Yeah. Yeah, because we always said that. Dude, now the commish is with the Washington Huskies. His son is like the defensive coordinator for the Washington Huskies or something. Yeah, so he was wearing a full hoodie. People were losing their shit because he was wearing a full hoodie. The arms weren't cut off, and people were like, who the hell is that? I'm like,
who is this guy? Thank you, wife. I love you.
That's fun.
It's fun, though. It's fun to watch.
We love you, wife.
They all love you, wife.
She come in.
Shut the fuck up.
But well, since that broke off a little bit, let's go ahead. Let's deep dive. Let's deep dive into the WWE. Let's deep dive into WrestleMania.
You guys gotta give us the full.
There was a 2-day event, and I
love the way they do it now.
And I was locked away in a dark retreat. Hit us with the info.
All right, give me 1 second. I have the rundown because we just did a podcast about this on Saturday. All right. There was actually 3 nights of wrestling. NXT stand. Yeah. NXT Stand and Deliver, which is their developmental brand, but they were in the Wells Fargo Arena with 17,000 people sold out to the rafters.
I heard the temperature had a small effect
on night 1
on the hype of the audience.
Yeah, night 1 it definitely did. Night 1, when it started, it was 52 degrees. And
but the wrestlers don't feel that because if you look underneath,
they have a heater.
They have heaters coming down, so
it's the audience. So the audience of night one was absolutely
which was the
lackluster.
only negative thing I've heard. In
well, you
3
got to
days.
get it. There's
There was-
lots of
there was,
kids
like, one or
and
two
stuff.
matches
Yeah, it's
that were
hard to.
made.
Yeah.
NXT Stand and Deliver, I thought was a fantastic card. Just to break down, Joe Gacy, Sean Spears, Thea Hale, Fallon Hinton. So 6-woman tag team match, North American title, NXT titles, NXT tag titles, women's title, and the NXT championship plus the main event. I like that entire card. I think Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes was the main event. It didn't live up to the hype, unfortunately. The problem is, this is the first time that Trick Williams has ever headlined a main event of a premium live event, and you could tell he was nervous. His timing was off. There were issues. He couldn't find his way to the ring for a second. There were just these nervous issues. I think their rematch, because there's going to be a match too, is going to be off the chains because now you've got that spotlight. The biggest spotlight of the year is already gone. You've already shit the bed a little bit. Now let's clean up the shit and let's go remake the bed and show these fuckers what we can do.
Because Carmelo Hayes is already a top talent, and NXT is going to be a top talent once he gets called up to the big ones. So it's not. It just basically he was carrying the match majority of that night.
So the right NXT person is basically the AAA.
The minor leagues. It's
they market themselves about WWE, and they do a very good job of it. It's not even.
Yeah, NXT is run by Hall of Famer Shawn Michaels. Triple H runs the overall WWE. But so NXT is the farm system for WWE. Basically. They have a deal. They have an NIL deal. So they pull college recruits. They pull former football players. Kelsey and Lane Johnson from the Eagles were at WrestleMania this year and smacked the shit out of Dominic Mysterio,
with the
which I'm very happy about.
Mysterio.
Yes, I'm very happy about. So NXT is dope because not only do you get they just made a huge signing. This Japanese women's wrestler named Julia. She is the biggest thing in Japanese women's wrestling right now. She now is leaving Stardom and the other company that's starting up and coming to WWE, which is a ginormous deal because Stardom used to work with AEW, the competition. So now WWE has stolen that pipeline. And that's where you're seeing these stars are coming out more and more ready. I think this is the problem with a ginormous card. Like when you try to put more than one multiple person match, is it gets to be a clusterfuck. There were points in this card where it was just like,
it was weird.
It was super weird. So I think this is Shawn Michaels' first time ever booking this big of a premium live event. So there were growing pains, just like with WrestleMania, and the first time Triple H has ever booked in Philly. You book in Philly in an outdoor arena, you have to take the weather into account. And I don't think they did. And I think it fucked up night one.
You're in Philadelphia in April.
And this is the thing, night one wasn't terrible. Me and Mike talked about this. I think there was like 7 or 8 matches on the card. And I would say the first 2 and the last 2 matches were probably the most interesting matches. And then you had the middle matches that were just super mid.
They just didn't deliver,
The expectations of what could have happened didn't happen, but it wasn't bad. So but the way that it ended, think of it like how Endgames ended. It left you on this wait, that's it. But I wasn't ready for it to be over. And night 2 came in and just fucking
smacked you in the mouth.
Smacked you in the mouth from the beginning all the way to the end. There was no low points in night 2 to the point where it got not boring, but you could be on your phone for a couple minutes because this match is not doing it for me.
You'll get this comparison, Paul. Night 1 was Sunday Night Heat. Night 2 was WrestleMania.
Basically,
it's just
like you go to Thanksgiving or you have this weekend of events like the All-Star Game. It started off great. It was terrible towards the middle, and then the dunk contest ruined it. But it wasn't to the point where it's like, wait, we still got the game tomorrow. Wait,
yeah.
So it was like that. But night 2 ended great, but night 2 was like
So let's get into night one a little bit. Night one, the highlight of night one for me was Sami Zayn versus Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship.
Delivered.
If you guys don't know who are listening, the IC title in professional wrestling has been around since 19.
That's the Intercontinental.
Yep, the Intercontinental title since 1970, created by Pat. Created by Pat Patterson. If you're in the WWE Hall of Fame, you've probably worn the IC title at least once,
2-3 times.
So that match, but what makes this match so good is the storytelling outside, and this is what's improved in WWE since Triple H took over. This build that they had with Gunther. Gunther is this big German dude. He's 6'8" and 285.
Prick.
Just big as shit, and German too. He's your stereotypical German. Doesn't smile, beats the shit out of people, loves inflicting pain. Just your hardcore stereotypical German. And then you had Sami Zayn, who's this underdog, who's skinny, he's 215 pounds. He's a ginger Muslim from Canada. Like,
and always told he wasn't it.
Yeah. And he comes in. The storyline was dope. It's not a new storyline. It's David and Goliath is the way they built it. But the way they presented it and the camera angles and the scripts and the montages and the training, like it literally looked like a Rocky movie in 5 minutes. And then you had the match and they were beating the shit out of each other. And look, disclaimer for people who are going to be like, oh, you're 37 and still watch wrestling. I know what it is. We know what sports entertainment is. We understand that. You're still falling down on your back on
I know people who I work with that it's as real as they want it to be, and it is not that. And those people get hurt. Those people get hurt. They have bruises.
Consistently.
They get
a lot of people in my family.
Because even Logan Paul. He's been playing. He's been doing this for, I think, 3 years, about 2.5, 3 years now. And he just said today on the Pat McAfee show that he said fighting KO and Randy Orton was harder. He said fighting Kevin Owens was way harder than fighting Floyd Mayweather. He said, when you're in boxing, it's just you and this one person. When you're doing wrestling, even though it's just y'all two in the ring, you're building a show that you have to entertain these
75,000.
And when you're doing it at WrestleMania, the normal attendance is between 70 to 75,000 a night.
Yeah.
So it's different when you're boxing. It's just you and the boxer. But when you're doing this professional wrestling shit, it's just more than you and them.
Right. You're supposed to keep everybody engaged. It's not just you. It's you, the fans, whether that be negative or positive. You have to keep them engaged.
And every person has to play a part. The referee, the commentators, the announcer. Everybody plays this part. Like what WWE did so well on night one is they made a slow build. The matches were not great. The first 3-4 matches just weren't great because the first match was fantastic. It was Becky Lynch, Rhea Ripley, awesome. Entrances were perfect. Wrestling was great. I think women's wrestling right now is better than men's wrestling. I'm going to say it plain out. Just like I think women's college basketball is better than men's college basketball right now. It is. That match was fire. I think
my two upsetting matches were the Usos and the girl six tag team match.
The girls to me wasn't upsetting because I knew they were going to do that. You can't. Jade is so green. Jade Cargill's 31. She's in fucking insane shape.
I need y'all to go look up Jade Cargill and see what she looks like.
Yeah, she's ridiculous.
You know who she's married to?
No.
Brandon Phillips. She's married to Brandon Phillips.
Really?
The shortstop from the Reds.
Reds.
And Jade Cargill is built like a goddamn sculpted.
Yes, but she's super green. So they gave her 2 minutes in the ring, protected her, let her beat the shit out of some people, kick some people in the face, get the pin, do her little sexy split pose, lick her fingers, call it a day. But why I love that match, and look, I'm a white guy, right? So I don't have the same bitching or complaining about representation because white guys are everywhere.
Right.
We just are. What I love about that match is not once did it become a black versus Asian thing, because it really could have, because that's what it was. It became focused on 3 black women representing for Black culture in wrestling, which is dope to me. It's super dope to me.
Yeah.
So I love.
I mean,
that
it's America. Representation is everything.
Absolutely. And Naomi said something, or Bianca said something that I think resonated with me at the end of their press conference. What she said was, representation isn't optional, it's necessary.
Yeah.
And you have to have somebody you can see yourself in. And I think that's what that match served as for.
And we're hopefully coming to a point where it no longer has to be spotlit
Yes.
and more just
It's just
normal.
It's getting there. It's absolutely getting there.
And again, like Mike had pointed out, it took me a few moons to notice because there's white people everywhere. So being able to see that representation, it's been nice. It really has.
And I'm also glad that they gave her to keep Bianca's WrestleMania streak alive.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely with Mike. The women's division, especially this last, I want to say 10, 15 years, have been seen in a different light as far as athletes. Because that's exactly what these women are. They're fucking athletes. They work as hard and practice just as hard as the guys do, if not better, because they have more to prove. But in the last 10 years, we've had multiple women main events on pay-per-views as being the headliner match.
5 years ago, would have never happened.
So it's like they're doing good. So they're holding their weight.
Yeah. So obviously, highlight of the night was the Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody and Seth Rollins. Cody and Seth Rollins end up losing. But what I love about that match is you could tell how much fun The Rock is having. The Rock looked at the ref and was like, I'm The Rock. I don't fuck around. If you count me out, you're fired.
And he took it all the way, the whole night.
Legitimate.
There should have been so many disqualifications.
He could, because now he sits on the board of TKO. He could do that. What I like is they're starting to bring back that mesh between here's a little tiny bit of reality and here's me being the final boss. The build was great. And then night 2, the Philadelphia street fight between the Street Profits and Lashley and it was garbage. There was some really cool action and really cool spots in it, but the match overall wasn't good. I think surprisingly, the triple threat match was fantastic. I hate Logan Paul, and I don't think he should hold a title in WWE.
But he worked the match.
No.
He worked the match, and he brings eyes. And obviously, WWE sees with him his fucking company logo is all over the place at WrestleMania.
Right.
Hydration station. Yeah. They're starting to pull the UFC.
They had a whole mascot
logos all over.
Yeah, every match was sponsored by a different company. Every single match. And it was, some of them were fun. Some of them were fucked up, and some of them were like, come on.
Whoa, what do you mean some of them are fucked up?
But
what was the sponsor?
Okay, so Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits and BFAB are all a black group. They're all black performers, right?
Right.
Their match was sponsored by Snoop Dogg's Gin and Juice.
That's funny as fuck. That's funny as fuck.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
Not
but it's
one.
Still,
Hold on, I got another one for you.
That is incredible marketing right there, if anything.
Night 1, the Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi fight. Guess who sponsored that fight?
Wingstop.
You racist pricks.
Well, I got to tell you, they did really well with their marketing. WrestleMania 39. That's what this was, correct? WrestleMania 39.
40.
Oh, this is 40.
39 was last year.
Okay, so 40's numbers isn't out yet, but they had a lot to.
They already said that they had the highest gate.
Two-night total for WrestleMania 40 was 145,600 people.
Oh, I'm talking viewership. Viewership on all platforms. So WrestleMania 39. WrestleMania 39 had 500 million views with and 11 million hours of video consumed across various platforms. So I'll be really interested. What's that?
I was there at SoFi last year.
Were you?
He went to WrestleMania last year.
It was fucking cold. I don't give a shit. As the sun went away, that wind started blowing in that stadium, and we was feeling it. I'm glad.
Be glad your ass was not in Philly.
But I'm like, WrestleMania 39, it lived up to the hype. And
40.
But 40 definitely, once those numbers come out, I have no doubt that WrestleMania is going to be. And this is the thing, like Mike said earlier, this is Triple H's first full control over WrestleMania since Vince got let go.
Yeah.
And he's putting his stamp already, as they call it. They're not even saying Triple H. They're saying the Paul Levesque era.
Yeah, they're using his real
government name. And I think we're in for a roller coaster of fucking fantasticness for the next couple of decades.
Can we all be honest?
Yes.
Vince McMahon's mustache showed that he should have been fired 15 years ago.
He will definitely be in the creek with that mustache.
Yeah, okay. I'm just saying his mustache was the billboard of I should have been fired 15 years ago.
You look like a lawsuit wall.
Yeah, okay, cool. We're all on the same page with that.
Yeah, 100%.
So I would like to get y'all's opinion on this. Something that I did hear and I'm able to bring to the table is that it's no longer the Universal WWE Championship. It's now the undisputed WWE Championship.
This is the second time around that they've had that name for the WWE Champion.
Okay.
Remember with the Brock Lesnar era,
yes,
that title was the WWE Undisputed because WCW just got bought out, and then the World Champion, the World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah, because that asshole went and got that tattooed on his fucking arm or his chest or something after he won it.
They merged both titles and made it the Undisputed WWE Champion. So this is technically the second era of this.
Yeah, we're going to see a belt redesign. Cody Rhodes. They have. Is Cody Rhodes going to be belt redesigning?
I feel like he has to because I feel like the last person to hold this title was Roman Reigns, especially again when they got rid of the WWE initially and they made both titles one. Roman Reigns' era should have ended with that style of the belt.
Yeah, and I'm hearing something about potential eagles.
That's what he wants. The winged eagle. That's
there's a couple of eagle themed belts. One's called the winged eagle, which is what Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart used to use, and then there's the one directly after them called the Big Eagle that Triple H, Stone Cold, The Rock, and Undertaker all used. I would prefer the Big Eagle just because it looks like it just looks really clean to me, but
it's classic
and it's bigger. The Winged Eagle is such a small, like old school, like 1960s level kind of belt. So
I have an idea, or not an idea, but a thought that just when the first
if you say the spinner, I'm hanging up.
Fuck that. No, this is a Cody thing. It's a Cody reference that it just makes sense that the classic title's coming back. Because when he won the Intercontinental title, he got rid of that oval egg-looking shit and went back to the classic.
Yep.
So could we see the same shit happening again?
Well, we could, and the thing is, Triple H took that classic back and put that back on the shelf and came with his new IC title. So I could see going back to the Winged Eagle for a year or whatever, and then Triple H saying, all right, because Hunter, this is the thing about what this WrestleMania press conference, the hype leading up to it, the storylines throughout this year, the last 2 years. This is firmly not WWE anymore. And what I mean by that is The Rock has said fuck on USA Network, on premium live events, on Fox. And I get we're in a different era, FCC wise, where they're letting things go. But not only that, everything feels natural. Nothing feels forced. Like The Rock, and this is what I love about this era. The Rock comes back. He's this final boss, and I'm gonna make Cody Rhodes bleed. They're not so precious with it anymore. Where The Rock was doing an interview a couple days later, and he was like, look, this was all my idea to have Cody finish his story. But let's twist it up. Let's make Rock the worst heel that's ever been and have him, you have these mountains to accomplish. And I think it paid off. The way he won last night, I think it definitely was a payoff. But I love the fact that they are blurring lines more and pulling more reality back into it like the Attitude Era did. But I also love what Triple H said. Triple H was like, look, not every match is going to have blood. Not every match is going to be full of swearing, because if it is, it becomes ECW, and that's what you want every week, and it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
We are getting the best wrestling mind for the business that can tie into pop culture. The guy went sneaker shopping with Complex and bought $4,000 worth of rare Jordan 1s, like different Jordans, right? The guy has pop culture knowledge. He's a 14-time heavyweight champion, so he has wrestling knowledge. And he learned behind Dusty Rhodes and Vince McMahon. He's got booking knowledge. I'm so excited to see not only where WWE goes, but because the wrestling business follows WWE. So where that goes, I'm excited.
Sky's the limit. Sky's the limit.
I would like to end that on this. I watched wrestling growing up with my dad. My dad's still a huge wrestling fan, so is my brother. They talk about it often. To me, and now this might be the new WWE, but Cody Rhodes just doesn't look like the WWE champion.
In this era that he's in now, he's definitely the look that they do.
Now, did that start with CM Punk?
No, that's just the way Triple H sees it.
No.
Well, no,
you gotta look. Go ahead.
You got to remember Triple H. So Vince McMahon was into those roided out.
Like Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Undertaker, Kane.
Yes.
Yeah.
John Cena, Batista, Brock
Lesnar.
Lesnar.
Rey Mysterio was cool, but now basically you've got
Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah, Eddie Guerrero.
Big jockey people.
Eddie.
So you're what you started seeing that big man era go out when Triple H was running NXT because he had champions like Adam Cole, who's 5'10".
Yeah.
Johnny Gargano was.
It's hard for me to see Cody Rhodes beating John Cena, even if he is wrestling until he's 50.
Well,
it's also hard. People also forget that Cody Rhodes is like 6'3" and 220 pounds. It's not.
But the problem is Lane Johnson was out there, and he looked like Andre the fucking Giant against everybody else. That dude's a huge fucking dude. Did you see him out there? He's like a foot taller than everybody else.
That's what I'm saying.
He is towering over all the.
Do you think that's going to affect the brand? No.
This is why I'm gonna tell you not. So in the last, I want to say 10 years, most of the champions that have been the champion. AJ Styles, very short in stature. Kofi Kingston, very small in stature when it comes to comparable to other champions. Who else? You had
Seth Rollins ain't the biggest.
Seth Rollins too.
Dean Ambrose is not a big guy. Even Finn Balor when he was the Universal title for a day. Even just his stature alone, he's not a big guy. So
I think
it hasn't killed it. It's just changing the mentality
because I guess before the big dogs like The Rock and Stone Cold, you had Ric Flair and Jake the Snake.
Well, don't get it twisted. Ric Flair in his heyday, Ric Flair was a big dude. He was a 6'4".
He went to private school 45 minutes down the road from me now.
Yeah, he's a Minnesota guy. Yeah. He's a straight Minnesota guy. But the thing is, like, Triple H, I love the way he books because he learned from Dusty Rhodes. If you watch Dusty Rhodes booking, when he was booking, this is going to be me aging myself and revealing my huge level of nerd.
Goldust?
When Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, baby, when he was booking down in Florida in the 70s and 80s, his heavyweight champions were not guys that were body guys, which is what they call the big jacked up roid guys. They were himself. Obviously, you're the booker. You're going to give yourself the title because you're going to make the most money. But they were guys like Mike Graham. They were guys like Barry Windham. They were these guys who were big, but they weren't Hulk Hogan big.
Right.
Because Dusty and Hunter feel the same mindset of the belt doesn't make the man should make the belt. And I think that's where we're going now. Roman Reigns, I think Roman is gonna be the last giant, just jacked up.
No, you still got Drew.
You still got Drew. You still got big guys. Karrion Kross has potential.
But I don't think it's going to be consistently big guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and even hearing Paul's list there, going back, actually, it does. It seems like it was a generational swap that's been slowly rode in, and it was more of an outside observation. Seeing Cody on the Pat McAfee show actually is what brought it to my mind. I'm like, man, that's the dude who's on top. But for somebody who hasn't been following it, that comment seems off-putting.
Yeah. You know what
Absolutely.
you got to
There's
do?
still big guys, but it's definitely not big guys dominated at the top.
It's a
like
more
it used to be.
athletic
I'll-
show than
I'll tell
just
you what.
body smashing bodies.
Yeah.
There's
Yes,
been more
if you wanna
6 foot
see-
to 6'2" guys than there's
Yeah.
been any other guys. It's just
If
Yeah.
you
we
want to
just
see, if
noticed
you want to
it.
see the perfect example of Triple H's booking, look up Adam Cole versus Pat McAfee from NXT Takeover.
Oh, yeah, I remember
Banger.
this.
And
Banger.
banger, Pat McAfee put on a fucking show. The dude, I'm talking
Does
about.
Pat McAfee has the best Stone Cold Stunner of all time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You have,
I mean-
you have to Adam Cole versus
It's a
Pat
banger
McAfee.
match.
You
Yeah.
have to watch this match. It will show you that's how Triple H books because the build up. Okay, Pat McAfee does commentary, right?
Yeah.
The build up for this match was Adam Cole came on Pat McAfee's show. Pat McAfee called him a little bitch, called him small. So Adam Cole freaks out, pushes Pat. Beef starts. Well, McAfee is doing commentary. Cole's in a match. Now this is all pandemic era too, so
Yeah.
this is why it's even more amazing. They're in a match. Cole comes over, splashes McAfee in the face with some water. They get into a little tussle. Triple H separates them. Pat McAfee leans back, comes through, and literally kicks him in the chest. They play the knockout. Triple H freaks the fuck out. The build up to that match was done so perfectly because Pat didn't try to get tights and make a whole entrance. He was Pat McAfee. He was in
Yeah.
black
Sure.
shorts. He was in
Oh, yeah.
black shorts, a black wife beater. He had some knee pads made and some Jordans.
It just cooked it.
That's
Cooked it.
it's about storytelling with Paul,
Nice.
with
So-
Hunter, and that's where I think it's gonna be.
Nice. So, what was the title of that one more time?
That one's Pat McAfee versus Adam Cole.
Pat McAfee versus Adam Cole. And again, thank you two for coming on and spreading your excitement about wrestling. Wrestling is huge.
Yes.
Wrestling on the it's crazy how big it is. I love it. I love the excitement. I've got people from all over the country on my Facebook. They had pictures of belts headed to WrestleMania. I don't know where this happened. I can't fucking believe it, but it did, and it's huge. And it's exciting to watch. I'm glad The Rock's back. John Cena just came out and said he has drawn a personal line in the sand for himself, which is 50. He said the hardest part about it is actually walking away from the WWE.
Oh,
He
and
said
Lane
it's-
Johnson
it's gonna
literally
suck.
is a foot taller than Rey Mysterio. That's why he looked
yeah.
like a foot taller.
Well, Rey Mysterio's a midget compared to everybody.
Well,
He's got a credible height.
So let's
5'6". Damn.
let's also put this out. Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson are both training at the Monster Factory in New Jersey to have a possible WrestleMania match next
What
year.
is it? It's got to be a tag team fight.
Yeah,
tag
of course.
team
Absolutely.
fighter
Most
plot.
definitely.
And that'll help the WWE as well. I love that marketing sense, to be honest with you. Go out into that social world, train them up for a year or two even. Hell, if it takes longer than a year, I get to build it up even more. We'll throw a little bit of splash of
Exactly.
excitement in this WrestleMania. Something happens, and it's going to hit hard in the next one.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. Listen to all our listeners out there. The mug had been gifted away. It's sad that you didn't win, but here at the Boys in the Woods podcast, along with our Check the Woods, our The Heat Check podcast / YouTube, boys, we care about you. So, of course, there is another giveaway. This one, super simple.
Wait,
I
you're
want-
telling me there's more?
There's so much more. I want the shirt. That's all you got to say. Plus, see, that's all you got to say. But you also have to get to the YouTube page, click subscribe, share it if you want to. That might get you an extra entry. It might not. We know the rules. I'm trying to tell them to you, but I'm making them up as I go. The main part is commenting, I want the mug / t-shirt. The mug's gone. I want the t-shirt. And you must click subscribe. Gentlemen, please tell everyone where they could find you.
I'm going to piggyback off you for a second. That's such
Yeah.
a great idea that the Heat Check is going to do the same thing.
Yeah, we are.
So,
We
if
got a
you-
double giveaway, double
Yes,
giveaway,
sir.
double giveaway. I said it 3
Comment-
times. That's too bad.
Comment on any video on our page. Paul monitors all of our social media.
What am I looking for?
You are looking for them to say, I love the Heat Check.
All right.
You say
All
that,
right.
we will
First one
send
I
you a
see,
t-shirt.
We got you a T-shirt, and I be checking this thing all the time, so I'll know who's did it and when they did it. Don't try me.
And the best part about this giveaway is that it's at the end of this episode. So you sons of bitches had to go through the whole thing, and we love you so much. That's why we do these types of things.
Yes, absolutely. So you can find us, myself, Paul, you can find us on Twitter at Your Heat Check. Actually, hold on. Let me give you the spiel because I just wrote one for Paul to say. So, look, for the boys in the woods and for when you're watching us, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you guys can hear when the boys in the woods go live, when the Heat Check goes live, when Check the Woods goes live. Hit the notification bell. You can also follow you can follow me and Paul on X at Your Heat Check, on TikTok at The Heat Check Sports, and Instagram and Threads at Your Heat Check Sports.
At Your Heat Check Sports. Thank you guys so much. As always, we care about you. We care about your opinion, whether it matches ours or not. We care about who you are as a person. We care about if you're doing well. And if you're not doing well, reach out. We love to talk. As you can tell, we talk all the time. So don't think we won't talk to you. The world is a much better place with you in it. Smile more.
Absolutely.